Speculating because he told this to me himself.
God has a funny way of showing you lessons.
Today it's time to stop singing and start swinging.
I just need you to know that I see you and I'm proud of you. I need you to remember that you're royal and we're proud.
He took at least 9 that we know about. And I'm not speculating because he told this to me himself.
God has a funny way of showing you lessons.
Today it's time to stop singing and start swinging.
I just need you to know that I see you and I'm proud of you. I need you to remember that you're royal and we're proud.
He took at least 9 that we know about. And I'm not speculating because he told this to me himself.
God has a funny way of showing you lessons.
Today it's time to stop singing and start swinging.
I just need you to know that I see you and I'm proud of you. I need you to remember that you're royal and we're proud.
He took at least 9 that we know about. And I'm not speculating because he told this to me himself.
God has a funny way of showing you lessons.
Today it's time to stop singing and start swinging.
I just need you to know that I see you and I'm proud of you. I need you to remember that you're royal and we're proud.
He took at least 9 that we know about. And I'm not speculating because he told this to me himself.
God has a funny way of showing you lessons.
Today it's time to stop singing and start swinging.
I just need you to know that I see you and I'm proud of you. I need you to remember that you're royal and we're proud.
He took at least 9 that we know about. And I'm not speculating because he told this to me himself.
God has a funny way of showing you lessons.
Today it's time to stop singing and start swinging.
I just need you to know that I see you and I'm proud of you. I need you to remember that you're royal and we're proud.
He took at least 9 that we know about. And I'm not speculating because he told this to me himself.
God has a funny way of showing you lessons.
Today it's time to stop singing and start swinging.
I just need you to know that I see you and I'm proud of you. I need you to remember that you're royal and we're proud.
Hey, what's up, JP? Edward, JQ, Keno, Josh, Yova, Jose. I appreciate y'all coming through, man. And without further ado, Lincoln, Curtis, Gerald, Hawthorne. Lincoln, Curtis, Gerald, Hawthorne. Thank you, dog. Truly appreciate you coming through the shop tonight. And that was pretty awesome, Lincoln. That was done exceptionally well. And I can't wait till tomorrow night. I wonder what you have in store for us tomorrow night. We can't wait. Thank you, dog. Leave the door open. All right, love you. All right. Night. I'll come up to your room. All right. No. I'll come in your room. All right. Appreciate y'all, man, for coming through, man. We got a hot show, man. We got a hot topic, man, and a hot discussion. Yeah, what a fight between Usyk and Joshua, and we can start there. Why not? Why not, man? What's up, Taiwan? And so is your son, Mr. Berryhill. So is your son. And I enjoyed the fight. Me and Kane tried to tell y'all. We tried to tell y'all. We tried to warn y'all. Go with Usyk, but y'all have hope insurance. You know what I mean? Y'all got hope insurance, man. Y'all got real good hope insurance. And y'all thought Joshua was going to win. There's no game plan he and his team could have created to defeat Usyk. There's not one. You know what I mean? There's nothing. They wasn't equipped. They wasn't equipped to go through that. You understand what I'm saying? They wasn't equipped. And so I said all that to say he did a tour of America and ended up in Riverside. Hey, you know how many trainers you got to go past if you land in LAX and get to Riverside? Man, that man chose Robert Garcia of all trainers in America to help him defeat a slick fighter. Robert Garcia has only beat one slick fighter. One. Maurice Hooker wasn't a slick fighter. He's a volume puncher. And that night, Adrian Broner wasn't a slick fighter, but he doesn't know how. He's not willing to learn from another trainer, so he's going to stick with what he know, and it gets him thus far. But I just think that he just made the wrong decision going into that fight. I made some money on the fight. Kane made some money on the fight, and whoever else bet on Usyk made some money on that fight. And yeah. But what y'all want to talk about? What y'all want to talk about is the post fight. And I'm not sure if you guys seen my video on it. I have to ask you guys this question from an athletic perspective. Have you ever given your all to something outside of high school? Because in high school, you go home to your mom, you go home to your dad, they cook you dinner. Then you talk to your girlfriend for an hour, and then you talk to your guy friends about the game, about practice. So the point I'm making is you have a security blanket in high school. But in the real world, you don't have a security blanket. And what I've seen is for real, humans don't respect greatness. They don't respect the process it takes to be great. People going to call you insane, crazy, bewildered, and whatever other adjective that you can use to describe that. And then I also learned that everybody's reaction to failure when you've given everything is different. I would not have responded that way because I know my kids are watching. Wilder sat in the corner for a minute and refused to shake Tyson Fury's hand. Anthony Joshua, y'all saw what he did. I mean, it's so many adjectives you can use, but you don't know how you're going to respond when you've given everything. When you've literally given, and you can't fathom losing. When you believe you've done basically all you could do. You know, and it's just mind-boggling that people say Anthony Joshua had a mental breakdown. And then you celebrate Deontay Wilder says he wants a body in the ring. I'm going to repeat that again. Everyone said Anthony Joshua had a mental breakdown. Think about this. And Deontay Wilder says, I've put things in order. I'm willing to die in the ring. And basically, I wouldn't mind catching the body in the ring. You know the space you have to go to within yourself to get to a space in a boxing match? You got to go to a dark space. Couldn't you tell? I could totally tell Deontay Wilder was in a different space training for fight number 3 with Fury. I could see it. I could hear it, and I was talking to Tay Jones a lot during that time period. I could hear it. I could see it in the posts that Deontay Wilder posts and his team posted. I can see it. He was in a dark space. Y'all think it's dark, but it's when you got no leakage, because there's only one goal and one goal only. And if you don't have ISO focus and you can't give me everything, then you can't go on this ride with me. I don't think we truly understand what it takes to be great. People respond different. People respond completely different. But I know the space he was in. He couldn't believe it. Like, hold up. I did everything. Everything I thought I needed to do, I did it. How can I lose? It makes no sense. And I'm willing to bet 80% of the people that's critiquing Anthony Joshua, I've seen it all on Instagram, outside of high school, from an athletic performance standpoint, have you been great? 80% of them going to say no. No, I've never been great. So you don't know what it takes. You honestly don't understand what it takes to be great, man. You've heard about it. You've seen Kobe Bryant shoot a basketball. You've seen Aaron Rodgers throw a perfect football. You saw Ray Lewis will his team to the Super Bowl in his final year. You guys have seen it, but you don't know the type of spaces you have to go to be great. When you choose to be great, mediocrity tastes like a lemon. Every time you see something doing mediocre, you're like, nah, I'm good. So people can't really understand the mindset of a Wilder, the mindset of a Anthony Joshua. You guys don't understand it. You guys have never been there. Show me a video. If you disagree, show me a video or a picture of the time you chose to be great in your life from an athletic standpoint. We ain't going to get into the nickels and dimes of real life issues. Show me. Not high school, because you go home to your mom and dad in high school. You have a safe foundation. You have a resting space in high school. You don't have to pay bills. You don't have to take care of your kids. You don't have to pay the mortgage. You don't have to take care of your wife. You don't have to take care of your kids in high school. But when you're a grown man, you gotta balance all that out. There's nothing in life that mattered to Anthony Joshua besides that fight for 11 months. He dreamed about it, slept about it, ate about it. The man asked him, it's been 11 months. Now, needless to say, he knows when the last time he's fought. He knew it was 11 months, but the fact that he said, wow, it's been 11 months, that shows you the ISO focus that he's had. But we respected the ISO focus Deontay Wilder had. I respected the focus Deontay Wilder had. You could see it. You could see it in Wilder. It was so obvious. It was so obvious. So obvious. Show me one time you've been great from an athletic standpoint. Show me. Show me. Or you just been fat your whole life, eating bonbons and I don't know, like I don't know. You've only seen athletic greatness on TV. The spaces these athletes got to go to be great. I'm gonna tell you a story about Kobe Bryant. You guys can Google this story. When Kobe Bryant went to dinner by himself, he ordered 2 meals. One for Kobe Bryant, one for the Black Mamba. You would call that insanity. If you love Kobe, you would say, man, that man's focused. If you hate Kobe Bryant, you would call that insanity. If you love Deontay Wilder, you would say, man, I can respect the fact that Deontay Wilder said he would like to catch a body. You get my point? Everyone has their biases, including myself. But you can't love Deontay Wilder and hate with Anthony Joshua. Shit. I mean, I'm just saying. You can't. It's impossible. That's all I'm saying. You got to respect those men the same, man. They gave everything, man. You could see Anthony Joshua's preparation in real time in that fight. You can see his wheels spinning, and you're right, DJ. UFC delivered again. Well, for the first time for me, but you could see, I could see Anthony Joshua wheels spinning. He was like, man, I got to set up this right hand. You could see it. Like, it was so obvious. You know what I mean? So anyways, man, let me invite y'all in the building, man. Did I put it down there? No. Yeah, feel free to come on in the building, man. Say what's up, man. I just think that you don't know we don't understand fully what it takes to be a fighter, but you can relate to the space that Wilder and Joshua was in to take a fight, knowing that they were clear underdogs and knowing that for years you've been the greatest, and you realize you're not good enough as you are. Imagine that shit. For 30 years, you've been the baddest man ever. And then you get to a space or an opponent, you get to an opponent, and who you was for 30 years is not good enough for this man. Insane, right? I'm just saying. You know, it's and that's just that's athletics, you know, whether it's father time or whether it's from a talent perspective. It wins, you know, and you know, but and then the part 2 of the conversation is by now everyone knows Jermall Charlo's situation as it pertains to his money, and Jermall Charlo hasn't fought since Juneteenth of last year, so he's been out 14 months, going into 15 next week, and I told you this was coming. I told you Jermall Charlo is going to run into a whole lot of issues as it pertains to his financial situation. The lines are open in a second, dog. Thank you for as it pertains to his financial, because I always put the phone and then forget. Now the phone line's open, dog. Be great to hear from you, TB. And you guys are going to see this more rapidly too, about fighters' frustration starting to mount. You know, you're just gonna have to sit back and y'all gonna have to say Fred was right, because I told y'all long before it happened. What's up, TB? Great to have you, man. What's up?
Man, what it do, Fred? What it do, man?
Hey, it's great to hear from you.
Yeah, man, it was a great day of fights yesterday, man.
Yeah, I had a good time. I went from AJ. I didn't really care for the ESPN and Showtime card, and so I watched Usman, and I was hyped. That shit was good.
You enjoyed it?
Yeah. Did I enjoy it? Shit. Because I was watching it with somebody who watches UFC, and he was telling me who Brown was. Is that his name?
Who?
Brown.
Who's that?
Who won? Who won last night?
Usman?
No, Usman.
Usman.
Who'd he fight?
Leon Edwards.
Oh, Edwards. Thank you, Edwards. So he was telling me who Edwards was. So I got the backstory and all that, and so it was cool. I thoroughly enjoyed it, TB.
Yeah, man, that's what's up, man. See, that's why UFC. See, here's why UFC is better than boxing. Everybody on that card might lose or has a loss, but it's okay, because guess what? They're gonna live to fight another day, and the loss is not detrimental to their career.
Mm-hmm.
Like in boxing, like if you lose, he's a bum, he got exposed, blah blah blah. UFC, like, it's many different ways to lose, it's many different ways to win, and it's always unpredictable, like it was unpredictable last night, like how Kamaru Usman, he got knocked out like at the end of the fight when he was really winning the fight.
Right. Damn. He was clearly winning 3-1. He lost the first round.
Yeah, he lost the first round, but every other round he was winning, and then he got caught with that head kick.
Facts.
Yeah.
Damn.
But AJ's done, man. I think that he's gonna have to get the JV belt, the Daniel Dubois got.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He ain't touching that. He ain't getting a third fight with Usyk, even though I thought that he did a lot better than in the rematch than he did the first fight. And I see the adjustments that he made, but it's like it still wasn't enough.
No, it's and he thought he made the perfect adjustments. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He literally thought like, "Oh man, I got this," but wasn't enough.
Yeah, but the boxing cards, like, it was alright. You know, the Showtime card was alright.
Shit was trash. Boxing was trash last night on both ESPN and where else? ESPN and what?
Showtime.
Yeah, this shit was trash.
Yeah. Yeah, the best fight on that card yesterday was like on the ESPN card was like an undercard fight with like two Mexican fighters. You probably don't know who they are or care, so I wouldn't even mention that fight.
I wouldn't.
Brandon Lee, he got dropped yesterday.
I saw that highlight. He got up and won. I didn't see it, but he got up and won the fight.
Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, but yeah, that was really it. Like, but as far as like what else was I gonna say? Oh yeah, with Charlo, man, he just got to move up to 168.
He better go get that money while he got a shot at it, you know.
Yeah, because he not. Yeah, there's nothing left for him to do at 160.
Mm-hmm.
I know you heard Steven Espinosa say like they're not going to even try to make Andrade a deal.
Yeah,
so
I did see that.
Yeah, so it's like there's nothing really left for him to do at 160. So we might as well go up to 168 where all the money's at.
Damn. Well, this reality is. He better do something. Shit. I mean, it's not what I think. It's what he better do ASAP. Because I'm telling y'all niggas better hurry up and make a move because this line gonna be long as hell, man. I'm telling y'all said it's all coming to fruition. You see Fundora, who's he fighting? Ocampo?
Yeah, Carlos Ocampo.
Man, come on, man. Come on, man.
No, Ocampo's like, see, listen, Ocampo just got caught by Errol Spence. He's not a bad fighter. I don't think he's gonna win, but I think he's gonna be more competitive than he was in the Spence fight.
Man, cut the shits, man.
He is, I'm telling you.
Man, please. Man, will you stop the cap?
Bro, I'm telling you, Fred, like, listen, I have a good eye for boxing. I know
No, you don't. You don't even pick winners.
I done made a couple of, I know I done made a lot of bad predictions, but I can say that he's gonna be more competitive in this fight.
He's gonna be more competitive than Hammer.
Maybe.
Man, you want to hang up now, or you want me to? Come on, man, cut the shits, man.
I'm for real.
Stop, please.
Oh.
Please. You got me sounding like Lenny Williams. Please. Come on, man. Ain't no way in hell. Ain't no way on God's green earth, man. You know that.
Man, I'm telling you, but what do you think Wilder's saying that he wants to fight 3 times a year and like in that whole interview that he did?
That shit crazy. I laughed at it because where's he gonna get the 3 fights at? Where the 3 fights gonna come from?
I mean, he could fight 3 times a year, Fred. Like, come on, man. He's a star. Like, even though he lost, like he's a star.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the availability. I'm not talking from a Wilder talent standpoint of him selling tickets. No, I'm just saying, where are the 3 fights he gonna get per year?
I mean, I don't know.
Exactly, because it can't happen. It can't.
Why don't you think he can?
It won't. It's not enough dates. Where they gonna get the dates from? If they can't get, man, listen, if they can't get Spence and Crawford, how the hell they gonna pay for Wilder 3 times a year? I know you hopeful. I know it's great to have hope. I'm not mad at you because me as a Wilder fan, shit, I want to see him fight 3 times a year. Honestly, like no lie, like sincerely would love to see Wilder fight 3 times a year. It ain't happening though.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm back in the chat, Fred. I appreciate the
call. All the time, dog. All the time.
All right.
Peace. All right, man. We got Philly Fly. We got Rashawn coming up, man. What's up, Philly Fly? What you got?
What's going on, man? Like, I was loving. There's so much content that you got to run with from last night, man. That shit was crazy, bro.
Right.
Yo, Wilder. I mean, AJ having that meltdown. I'm like, I was saying, like, yo, you got your movie checks and balances. There's no checks and balances in boxing, my brother. Like, someone should have been like, grab that mic from that guy. I'm like, yo, what the hell is going on, B? I understand like all that hard work he put in and stuff like that, but I'm like, yo, like I thought Eddie was gonna lose it. It was crazy, man. It was crazy. But even that other fight, the co-main, Big Bang got robbed, bro. I'm like, oh hell no, he won that. Philip Hergovich won that fight. Who you think won that fight?
He didn't.
Who do you think?
I didn't watch it.
You didn't watch that fight?
No, I didn't watch it.
Oh my God, man! There was 2 robberies last night, Fred. There was the Showtime co-main. There was a robbery too. The Dominican guy.
Oh,
he did not win that fight, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? He was taking too many shots to the body, and all of a sudden he won that fight. I was like, what the hell is going on? That was boxing. You got everything last night. You got robberies. you got a tantrum. You got bad scorecards. Like split decision. I had an 8-4 Usyk too.
I had an 8-4 Usyk.
They gave one guy had a 7-5. Was it Glenn Feldman? Like, we gotta get this guy's name out there. Like, what the hell? 7-5 AJ?
Facts. I didn't see that at all.
Fix was in. I was like, damn, man. Like, you getting everything tonight. You getting nice knockouts. Callum Smith caught a body on a man, put that guy through the ring. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, it's crazy, man. But AJ, there's still good fights for AJ. Like, but he could fight Wilder. He could fight Andy Ruiz a 3rd time. Like, look, we could see that again. Maybe if Eddie wants to put up the money for that, you could do Dillian White again. You could fight Big Bang, both coming off losses. Big Bang in China, make some money over there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's some fights, but
unlike Wilder,
go ahead.
AJ could fight 3 times a year because he already said, Eddie said, I can't give you November, but I'm going to give you something in December. Now, depending on who that opponent is, that's a remain to be seen. But like, yeah, AJ, he gonna be back. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just gonna take a while, but you put him in the right situation. You know what I'm saying? Because those belts are gonna vacate once whoever undisputes. If they get that Fury Usyk fight,
right?
You know what I mean?
No, you're right. No, you're right. They will vacate, but it's something about having that heavyweight belt. They'll hold on to it for a little bit longer than normal and pay those sanctioning fees.
Like, hypothetically, if Fury were to get that match and beat Usyk, I actually think then he would retire. I don't think he's sticking around for, like, you know what I'm saying, this fight too much long. And Usyk, he's 35. If he's saying he only wants to fight one man, you know what I mean? There's young bloods coming out there like Jared Anderson, Philip Hergovich, like Wilder he wants to fight 3 times a year, like the other guy said, until he's 40. So you know what I'm saying? These guys, Mauricio Suleiman's going to give these guys a title shot and all those other sanctioning bodies.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was going to say that even at the co-main fight, the Philip Hergovich and Big Bang, that was for IBF Eliminator. So now Philip Hergovich is in the mandatory for Usyk's IBF belt.
Oh, that means nothing.
You know what I'm saying? But they were saying on the broadcast, the IBF, they do follow their rules. So his shot might be coming. Who knows?
Mute your phone, and I'll get you in a second.
There it is. It's done. Pardon?
Go ahead, Philly.
No, I was just saying, but yeah, man, that's interesting too, man. I just want to hear your opinion on the. Did you see? Even Keith Thurman got an interview. They were talking. So what's his name? The host for Showtime, Brian Custard. He interviewed Keith Thurman. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see it. I saw the 30 seconds. I saw the 30 seconds.
Man, you missed it, Fred. I'm telling you, the man's like, so we love Keith Thurman. We want to see you in the ring. And like a typical PBC fighter, he had have no fight date. Said, like, it was embarrassing. I'm like, but Keith Thurman, he's away with his words, but it's like, of course you have no fight date. Of course you don't. And he's saying he doesn't want to be a gatekeeper. He don't want to fight Boots because they're trying to feed him to Boots. That's probably the main, and he's probably turning that down. But he says he's going to fight Ugas, Spence, or Crawford. That's all he wants to fight. Or if he says he wants to, and they asked him about the Danny fight, he's like, yeah, we could fight at 54, but it ain't going to be for nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather move up and fight Laura. He said.
That's sad, man. These niggas are stuck. They so stuck. It's a shame, man.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was watching. I was like, oh my God, like he ain't got no fight date.
How the hell you do an interview and you don't have a fight date? Like, what's the point? I know he's fighting in your city, but damn.
That's what I'm saying, man. Yesterday, you got it all you got everything yesterday, man. You got robberies, tantrums, people
We did get a
like,
lot. You're right. We got a lot like a motherfucker.
like, damn. I was like, yo, this guy has no fight date, no opponent in sight, saying that he would entertain offers and people please send contracts. Like, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, what am I watching right now?
I don't know why they don't just say Al Heyman's name. You know what I mean?
Well, you know more than that than me.
Yeah, he got the motherfuckers locked up. I'm locked up. They won't let me out.
They won't let them out. Like, which goes into that Charlo situation that you were talking about. I'm like, that's crazy. Like,
it's awful.
Like, I don't know when he gonna fight next year, early next year.
He can't fight this year. There's no dates available.
So what we looking like, a February or March?
Man, we looking at February.
Almost 2 years.
Sheesh.
And he's supposed to be a star at the PBC.
He's
2 years?
Supposed to be a star.
1.5 years? And that was a 1 month TL. That wasn't even a big fight.
Nah. It was.
And they didn't want to take the Jaime Munguia off, or like, I don't know what happened with that, but damn.
Nah, man, it's falling apart right before our eyes. But I was Paul Revere, you know.
You were calling it. You were calling this shit, man.
But it's so obvious now, you know. It's plain as day, you know. No fights in the summertime. Let me get 410 on, then we go to Ray Sean. Appreciate y'all coming through. What's up, 410?
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Hey, how you feel?
Feeling all right. Couple things.
Yes.
Joshua, he did better in this fight. I've seen some adjustments from him, and he did better. And at one point, he was really getting the Usyk's body, and I really felt like, you know, he could have built on that. Simple thing is Usyk's just a little better than he is. He's a little faster. He's a little better, not leaps and bounds better. I did see adjustments made from Anthony Joshua, but what it looked like mostly, though, it was a polite little boxing match. I thought, Anthony Joshua was going to, turn up the aggression a bit. It's a tough call for him because he's got the stamina issues. So if he gets too worked up, then he might have to deal with the stamina. Also, he's got the chin issue. So, if he gets too brazen and exchanges too much, which wouldn't have been easy anyway, because Usyk's just too smart for that. He wouldn't stay in there and exchange with him like that.
No way would he do that.
Yeah, so Usyk, he fought a good fight, but I'll be honest with you, he's 35, Usyk, so it's hard to say how much longer he may fight. The division's really not that deep, and with his boxing skill, he'll probably be all right. I would pick Fury to beat him in a boring fight, but I'm not impressed with his power. He doesn't sit on his punches at all that I can see. I mean, I know he's got enough pop to keep fighters honest, but it looks to me like he's grown into a pretty thick, nice size heavyweight.
He has.
And the punch power it's just not there. So he's going to need all the hand speed he can muster. If he fights Fury's not Joshua. Fury knows how to keep you on the outside. He knows what to do if you get on the inside. And it would probably be boring, but I just think he would have a much tougher time with Tyson Fury.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And I also wanted to say that PBC, in an overall sense, I don't think have been too good for boxing. Their fighters, they just don't keep them active enough. They blickered those guys. They showed them good money in the upfront to get them to sign, and then they put fighters. Keith Thurman's received a lot of flack for not fighting, but a lot of that, he can't fight unless the promoters make the fights. Gary Russell, Figueroa the other night, he looked like crap, and I'm glad he's going to retire. But they said during that telecast he's only had like 5 fights in 5 years, and they've put these guys on a shelf. A lot of them, almost all of them, have been on the shelf, and and I remember Jim Lampley right before HBO went off the air. He blamed the PBC for them, not continuing. And boxing ain't did nothing but go downhill since HBO has not been in the game. And lastly, Deontay Wilder, you heard it here first, is a spent fighter. And I just hope he doesn't get hurt. Yeah. If you look at the last two fights against Fury, I mean, he got smashed to bits in those fights. And I can't think of too many fighters in the entire sport that could get 2 stoppage beatdowns like that. And then people still have faith that he's, got something left to give, because the guy's got almost 50 fights. That's a pro career for a heavyweight. Not to mention, if you look in those fights, he was concussed early on in those fights, glassy-eyed. He didn't have any stamina. He didn't seem to have any good punch resistance. And, I've always thought about Wilder, even when he was knocking everybody out, that this guy is built for destruction, but he's not built to take punishment. Even the few times that he got hit in those fights where he was scoring all those knockouts, it didn't look like he really took the shots well. He wasn't getting hit much because he was whacking guys out.
Right.
But he's lost a step in my eyes, and I really hope that they check him out thoroughly with the CAT scans and the brain scans and stuff before he makes a comeback, because he's always going to have a puncher's chance. He could be 60 years old and probably still have a puncher's chance in a fight.
Right.
But what is it worth to keep fighting? He made a lot of money, and I wouldn't be surprised if he gets beat by his next opponent.
We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see. I don't think he's a spent fighter by no means. I want to see how much he has left, because through yourself, others. And we'll see how much he spent in that in preparing for Fury, and how much those Fury fights took out of him on October 15th. So I'm going to hold my judgment, and October 16th, we'll have that conversation. Is he back? Did he look great? Is that 1-2 still there? Is that explosion still there? And then we'll move.
But that's the thing. An opponent like Salinas, which I understand is a former sparring partner of his, if he comes back and whacks Salinas out, that will in my estimation, that'll further accommodate things for him to think, okay, that he can maybe still do this and still do that. I mean, I could easily be wrong. I've been wrong before, certainly. But it's what I've seen in those two fights from him. Even his right hand, he seemed off balance, and when he was throwing it and he was forcing it, it didn't seem to have the same kind of whip. But mostly it was the punch resistance was not there. The stamina wasn't there. I mean, he didn't have stamina in those fights. He was tired. He looked tired and beat up by the third, fourth round in both of those fights. And in the second fight, I was like some of the fighters in the audience. I was screaming, to stop the fight. Because he was taking a type of beating that really, really damages a fighter. And then he took a similar beating in the third fight. And late in your career, because like I say, he's got, 48 fights, damn near 50 fights.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pro career, no question about it. Because it's not just, the fighting, it's the training and the sparring.
Sure.
Yeah.
Are you making? I'm not going to discredit you. I'm like I said, Wilder is one of the fighters that I absolutely love. And so I'm going to be watching the fight like this, and I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say I don't get emotional and I don't care and I want the best for him. And I've had this conversation with D before in real life. So I'm not the guy. And if I see a shortage, I'm going to call D and be like, hey, D, dog, man, like it just is what it is. And but we don't know. October 15th, we'll get the answers to the test, and if he's exciting and he's back and he gets that third round knockout and he's explosive, shit, he's back, and because he didn't take too much punishment leading into those other fights,
Well, Well, that's true, and that's the good news. And in 44 of those fights, he took little punishment. I don't think he's built for punishment. He's very thin.
Who is?
Well, a lot of fighters can better stand up to it, but a lot of times you can see guys with a very thin midsection and skinny legs.
I get what you're saying. I get that.
Yeah, Tommy Hearns, to a lesser degree, the great Tommy Hearns. When he fought Hagler, I mean, he could match Hagler offensively. He just couldn't. Hagler could take more than what Tommy could, and that showed up in the Leonard fight too, the first one. But yeah, and like I say, I've seen Wilder the few times that he did catch a good shot. I could see it. It just didn't seem like it settled well with him. And I wish him the best though, man, because I seen before one of those fights, you got a beautiful house on the lake, you got beautiful kids, little girls that I'm sure adore him, and he made a lot of money, in those fights, and so he's got the money. He made his mark on boxing. There's no question about that, and I just don't know what's really left to prove. And now that Joshua lost again, I guess they could still make a big fight if they could get the network.
Yeah, that's a big fight. No, DAZN would definitely carry that fight for sure.
Yeah, I mean, that would be a nice big fight. That's what I would rather see for him. Is you can go ahead and fight Helenas, see if you can get him out of the way, and if everything checks out after that, then go ahead and try to make that Joshua fight, make a big fight and cash in, as opposed to going back and
yeah, I would agree with you. Go make the Joshua fight. I think that makes sense. It's a lot of money over there. It's a lot of money. Yeah. It's a lot of money. Go get that money, man. And,
also,
he'll be in here he'll be in the shop before the fight for sure. For sure. I'll hit him up the last week of September, and we'll get Malik Scott and we'll get D in here at separate times. We'll get him in here for sure.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And
Figueroa, I got to tell you, I was a little heartbroken for him the other night watching that ring interview. I remember when he was coming up, he had a lot of promise, and signing with the PBC, it just ruined that guy, man, if you ask me.
Oh, PBC definitely ruined him and his bad habits now. And his bad habits. He used to balloon up in weight too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I can't blame them for his necessarily for his physical erosion, but it was just heartbreaking to see, man, because in the interview,
what did he say?
He says he put his heart and soul into training. I believe him. I believe that he did train hard, but his body just not responding. And that the only good thing was to hear him be honest with himself, to know, because that man was getting hit with every punch.
God damn, was he?
It was hurtful. It was hurtful to watch him. What was funny though was Raul Marquez, the commentator.
Yeah.
Do you remember watching him fight?
Yeah, I do.
He's sitting up there talking about.
He was a head first guy.
Yeah, I just don't understand why you take this punishment. And I'm like, really, Raul? Have you ever watched your fights? I've never seen a guy take so many shots than him. He used to look like he got hit by a train.
Yeah.
After his fights, I mean, he would take tons of punishment.
Yeah, I didn't see it. So, but and I haven't seen no highlights of it. I don't want to see a Lipinets, Omar Figueroa, whatever his name is, highlights. I know Lipinets won, right?
Yeah. Well, Lipinets looked like $1 million whooping him, but that had a lot to do with the fact that Figueroa, he just catching every single shot, man. He hit him with so many rights. He was begging for a left, and then he would hit him with the left. I mean, he was just whacking him, man. Like, I'm surprised they even let it go as long as they did.
Right.
Although Figueroa, he's a tough guy. Obviously, he wasn't swelling up or cutting up. And when he gave his interview, he I was surprised to hear him speak as well as he did, because just the shots, man. It was almost like punching. You ever see one of them heavy bags that looks like a person?
Yeah.
And you can just whack the shit out of him.
Yeah.
He was hitting them like that, man. Just whack, whack. Yeah.
Damn.
It was messed up to see, man.
Well, I appreciate the call, man.
All right, guys. Well, good job.
All right. Thank you, brother.
Thank you. Yep.
What's up, Rashawn? We got H Money coming in next, man. What's up?
Man, nothing much, man. Just sitting here listening to you guys, man. I mean, it's a lot of good stuff, you know. I mean, I hear what he's saying about Wilder, but one thing that everybody needs to always factor in is Wilder's first 32 fights only won 4 rounds. So he didn't go as many rounds as a professional. So when he kept saying, oh, well, that's a career because of the amount of fights, bro, his first 32 fights only won 4 rounds or less. So that's a big thing that people don't factor in. Wilder is still like, you know, he's coming up. But like, I'm like you, Fred. I really am. Like, I love Wilder, bro. And like every time I watch him fight, them last 2 fights, bro, it was like I felt them blows with him, bro.
Yeah.
So I'm in complete agreement with you when I say, bro, afterwards, at first, initially, I was like, fuck that. He should just hang it up. Like, there's no point. Like, no, there's no point. But if he feels like he can do it, then he can do it. And I keep telling everybody, people got to understand, I really feel like ain't nobody really going to be able to beat Tyson Fury. And that was just a style thing for real, because Wilder does things that he's been getting away with for so long, and he fought somebody who was tall enough to take advantage of those things. And that's what really happened. So when you sit there and you say, well, he didn't take the shots, well, he never got hit with these shots before. So how can you take shots well that you never ever took before? You know, come on, bro. Like, this is heavyweight boxing. Everybody's meant to get hurt. That's what it's all about. And we can't sit there and act like Wilder isn't like, and I'm not saying that he discredited Wilder, but you got to give him more credit for being able to not take those punches over this time period.
Right.
Because if he sucked like you guys, if he wasn't built to take punishment, he wouldn't be around. I watched him get hit by Bermane Stiverne in that first fight in the jaw, took it like a champ, kept fighting. I watched how he broke his hand and went out there like, come on, man. Let's not act like this man ain't no beast, bro. I watched him sit there and take, and y'all can think whatever y'all want about Chris Arreola, bro.
So why he don't respond to Frank Sanchez, man? This the barbershop. Hey, Frank, this the barbershop. I didn't come in here to bite my tongue.
H Money, let him finish his comment.
All right, I got
you. Can respond. Go ahead, Rashad.
I don't even know what he's talking about Frank Sanchez.
No, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
He disagrees with you. That's why H Money, you have all the time after him. But go ahead.
Yeah, bro, you could tell me what you're talking about afterwards, because I really don't. And I'm just saying,
bro, you know what's up.
How do I know what's up? I keep saying I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, bro, like I was saying, bro, like I'm in complete agreement with you. If I see the same shit, I'm gonna say the same shit. And like I said last week, he should just do 2 fights, bro. Like it should be like that, bro. Get this Hellenius guy. If that makes you the mandatory, take that fight, bro. If you win, you win. If you lose, you lose. That's the way I look at it. And it's like, man, it might be time to hang it up after that. But go ahead, tell me what you're talking about.
Bro, I mean, just stop, you know what I mean? Just be a straight shooter for once, bro. Listen, I'm going to call it for what it is, Fred.
Go ahead.
This the barbershop. I'm not going to bite my tongue, bro. Now, Deontay Wilder was called out by Frank Sanchez. Why the fuck is he fighting Hellenius on pay-per-view? Now, Fred, you've been critical of the PBC and pay-per-views. This is a bullshit-ass pay-per-view. I don't care if Wilder is your friend. We got to call it for what it is. Now, and why Hellenius when Frank Sanchez was calling him out? This brother Ray Sean want to beat around the bush. I'm not here to do that. And now, Fred, let me finish, bro. Now, let me talk about Anthony Joshua. I'm disappointed in Anthony Joshua, okay? He was acting like a bitch. He went out like a bitch. And he fought like a bitch 2 times in a row. Matter of fact, 3 times against Andy Ruiz when Ruiz knocked him out. You know what I mean? He ain't got no dog in him. The man he's a spoiled fighter. Spoiled fighter, bro. And then he disrespected the sport of boxing and he threw the belts out the ring. That was disrespect to all of the great champions that had those belts before him. Including Sugar Ray Robinson and Muhammad Ali when he did that. You know what I mean? And then people was mad at Wilder, saying Wilder was a sore loser. What about Joshua making all those goddamn excuses? He giving me the rundown on his weak-ass life. I didn't start boxing when I was 4 years old. Nobody asked you, bro. You want some sympathy? I'm not here to cater to Anthony Joshua needs or his fanboys. I'm here to keep it real. You know what I mean? Now respond, bro, because I'm here in the barbershop, bro, and I'm here for all the smoke.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good, bro. So let me go ahead and get at this Frank Sanchez thing, like you said, right? First off, Frank Sanchez will not sell on pay-per-view, and that's what that's
That
about.
was about
No,
ticket
no.
sales. Get the fuck out of here. Who the fuck is Hellenius? The fuck out? That's his sparring partner. He ain't selling shit.
Like I was saying. And then nobody knows who the fuck Frank Sanchez is enough for him to be a selling fighter, bro.
Who is Hellenius? Who knows
okay,
Hellenius?
Look, bro, you asked me to go.
Who knows Hellenius? I'm asking you a question.
Hey, let him get off.
Answer my question.
And then we'll bring Zoe in.
Who is Hellenius? Ask him who Hellenius is.
Hey, I'm finna tell you who the hell Hellenius is. Quit
That's his
yelling, bro.
motherfucking sparring partner.
H, let him get off.
Hey.
This nigga weak, Fred.
H, let him get off. Jesus Christ, let him get off, man.
Yeah, cause like I don't got time for this bullshit.
Yeah, I know you don't, bro.
No,
I got
like,
time
bro.
for your
nigga, you don't know me, bro.
nigga,
you don't know me, bro.
Bitch, nigga.
Go ahead.
Like you see what I'm talking about? Like this is why black people always have confrontations with each other, bro. Because you can hear it in the bass in his voice. You wanted confrontation. I'm trying to be peaceful, but like I'm saying, bro, Frank Sanchez does not sell. Fucking Hellenius was on both the undercards, bro. We seen who Hellenius was. Hellenius' last fight, he was a stoppage on the undercard. It makes sense to match them together. Frank Sanchez ain't stopping nobody. You know what I mean? Like, I like Frank Sanchez, bro. I'm a fan of Frank Sanchez and the Cubans. I like the way they fight, bro. But it's like, come on, bro. That don't make no damn sense at all. So for you to sit there and act like, well, Wilder's ducking him. No, Frank Sanchez isn't as popular as Robert Hellenius, and you can't tell me that he is, bro. Robert Hellenius has been around since fucking 2008, bro. He beat Derek Chisora. He beat Samuel P. Bro, I know who the fuck Robert Hellenius is. I'm a boxing fan, bro. I watch this shit. I know exactly who Robert Hellenius is. And Robert Hellenius was a dude who was supposed to be very highly touted for a very long time until he disappeared for a while. Come back and lost to Johan Duhapar. I know a lot about boxing, bro, and that bothers me that this dude tried to get at me like that, bro. Go ahead, bro. I'm gonna let other people go though. I'm not gonna sit here keep rambling about it.
Go ahead, Zo.
Oh man, what's the deal with you, big dog?
Nothing much, man. What you got?
Oh, nothing much, man. No, man. I bought the fight. I know I missed the show. I was trying to catch y'all when y'all first came on. I had to drive 45 minutes somewhere, but no. Man, I to be honest with you, man, like I said, man, I thought that, it was a pretty good fight, man. It was exciting. As far as with Joshua, he made, you could tell in camp that he made a lot of adjustments, that they studied a lot of film. I still think that he should have came in maybe 228, 227, 228. I thought that 244 was way too heavy. He still looked, to be too muscular, too robotic, too muscular. Usyk, showed a lot of heart. He did real good. I thought really his weight gain hurt him, because he looked to me better in the first fight than the second fight. I think it might have helped him absorb more punishment, but he, a lot of his punches had no steam on them really. He was able to put steam on maybe the first minute, but a lot of the punches really had no steam on it. No snap, no steam. I think that, like I said before, Usyk is just his speed of foot and his smaller size and the fluidity is just something that a big 6'6", bulky, muscled man, in his coordination, he just couldn't get off. I thought that the body attack was good. Every time Joshua went to the body, you seen Usyk get hurt a couple times. You seen Usyk fold up, but it just was like, it just wasn't to be, man. I think that they made a mistake. I think in Joshua, man, because if you look at the meltdown part when he was talking to Usyk, he was like, "Man, I'm a big man. And you smaller than me. And how did you beat me?" But see, again, physiques and muscles don't always win fights.
Right.
And I think that if he would have, came in 228, because you could tell in the gym that he worked on, the right uppercut to the body and the right uppercut to the head. But if you remember at the end, I believe it was either round 3 or round 4, he tried to throw a right uppercut, and it was almost like his arm, like he was trying to swing a tree trunk. he had like his arm, like he was swinging, trying to throw the right uppercut, like he was holding a barbell because his arms is too big and heavy. You know what I mean? You could see it in the fight where he was trying to set and trying to get off, and it was like it looked kind of like the turtle versus the hare in certain parts of the fight. Where it just was like his Usyk's turning him, and Usyk's was just too fluid, and he's so big and bulky and trying to he could see the punch, but he got to get set and try to get it off, and it just wasn't happening for him. You know what I mean? I still want to see like I said, man, a lot of people knocking him. I don't think Joshua fought like no bitch, to be honest with you, man. He showed a lot of heart. You know what I'm saying? You could see that he went, that they had a good game plan, a decent game plan. It's just that Joshua didn't have the stamina to keep up, keep his foot on the gas and put the pressure on Usyk the way he would have had to do it for him to win. Like I said, excellent body attack. Like I say, stood right in front of him. And for the first couple rounds, he would catch a counter. So, like I said before, I think that they just made a mistake him coming in so heavy because, like I say, if you know that this second fight you're going into it with a greater work rate, and that you're going to try to muscle a man, or stay in front of him to keep pressure on him, you can't be necessarily, because I think to me he kind of fought like he was scared to gas out. Like I don't want to do too much because I don't want to gas out. But I think that he should have came in 10 to 12 pounds lighter. 10 a good 14 pounds lighter, 15 pounds lighter easily. But like I said, I'll say this: I still want to see Joshua versus Wilder. I still think that's a good fight. I still want to see Joshua versus Fury. I still think that's a good fight. I don't think that just because this man, boxing has proved that. That you can't say just because this man beat this man that he can beat that man. So I think that style is just something that Joshua can't figure out. That type of style, the shorter, more compact, faster foot, more fluid fighter is just something that Joshua's style can't deal with. You know what I'm saying? With the bulky muscles and the slow feet. But like I said, man, I'm hoping that before they both retire, that we can see Joshua Wilder, man. I'm hoping they can, because like I say, man, man, he had his little meltdown. I think that maybe with Joshua, I think that he maybe pays a little bit of too much attention to social media and the blogs and the videos, and I think that maybe that mentally, like sometimes you got to block out opinions of people and block out that type of stuff and just go into a fight, because you always gonna have haters, and you always gonna have people that's gonna be negative and is gonna go, you know what I'm saying, shit on your character. So, like I said before, he had his little meltdown and threw the belts and was going at it with Lomachenko and his old man and was talking about going to jail, being a street dude and all that type of stuff. I don't know where that came from, but at the end of the day, like I said, at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? You just got to get back in the gym. Cause like, I don't know if you've seen Michael Buffer interview. Michael Buffer made a good point.
What'd he say?
Instead of training for 10 months, you really should fight more. You really should just take a fight here.
Oh, I didn't hear that, but that's a good point.
Yeah. Michael Buffer, he was saying that, because again, the gym is different than being up under the bright lights.
Right.
And just because you training for 10 months, running, swimming in the gym, doing your sparring, is different than being up under the bright lights where a person is trying to hurt you for real and trying to get you up out of there. So I think he would probably been better off fighting 2 or 3 times, three times a year. Because like I said, if you looked at the fight, again, to me, a lot of the stamina problems are more bright lights than, okay, I'm in the gym, I'm training, I'm this and I'm that.
I get that.
So like I said, man, I ain't gonna get down on Joshua, man. He, like I said, you getting up in there with the best, and you got back up in there with him back to back. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, and you could tell in the gym that his camp with Garcia, like people, Garcia, but you could tell that, like, 'cause he didn't try to do that old the probing thing. He kept his hands up. And you could tell that they worked on certain things. Cause like I said, I thought the body attack was good, man. I thought, like I said, if he could have really did some things different, he could have won. Cause like I said, you start having swing rounds if you can keep your if you could keep your foot on the gas. But like I said, but he don't had the stamina to do it. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I wanted to say. You know what I mean?
Go ahead, Kane.
Fred, what's going on, bro?
Hey, what's popping?
I just want to say it was a good night of fights, honestly.
Yeah.
On all the cards, honestly. I mean, I didn't watch the Showtime one, but from the Top Rank to the Zone to the UFC, it was some good fights. I wanted to say, I think Emmanuel Navarrete, I think he's gonna be nice lunch for Shakur Stevenson if
really?
Bob ever. I mean, he I don't know how he's like how good. I mean, that was my first time ever watching. He's so undisciplined, sloppy. I feel like someone like Shakur would just destroy him, like teach him. He ended up knocking the guy out in 6 rounds, but to me, he was losing every round. And that's what the announcers were saying. They said he lost every round.
Wow.
But he ended up some guy right in the body, and then bro, I guess the guy his body just gave up on him. That one was good. I think Nico Ali Wash is a decent prospect. I think he's got something.
Really?
Young, but I mean, it's not. I mean, this was a rematch fight. So the guy that he decision, this was like his 3rd fight, and then now he ended him in the 2nd round.
Oh, that's
so.
Cool.
I mean, you can see he's making gains. I mean, I don't think he's a world beater. I don't think he's gonna be a pound for pound guy, but I think he for sure can contend for a title. I mean, that's what they're obviously from.
Well, that's the
build
goal.
him up to get to at least a title fight.
Yep, facts. That's the goal.
At least get him to a title fight. Maybe feed him to a finish. The UFC ridiculous.
Yeah, it was fun. It was
Hail
fun.
Mary. It's a Hail Mary. I mean, I just feel so bad for Usman. I feel so bad for him. He deserved that fight with destroying the guy, punished him. And I mean, sometimes just not your night. Sometimes God has different plans for you.
It was his night. He just got undisciplined.
I mean, did he get undisciplined? I mean, in reality, if you're looking at that fight, Edwards, he looked done.
He did.
He looked like he didn't even want to be in there. He was looking for ways out, I think. Announcers, like, the best part about it is that the announcers are like, he's looking for his only way to win is by decision now, saying that like he wants like a moral victory of the decision, and right when they said that, he kicked him right in the head.
Man, that was
so I mean, it's like it's crazy that's like anything can happen in these fights. I mean, I don't think that would ever happen in boxing, something crazy like that, because people in MMA are thinking about so many different elements of where people can from. But man, that's just, I mean, that's why these things are worth the money.
Right. The unknown.
That's just my,
Yeah, the unknown. Yeah, I had a great time because that kick caught me way off guard because I'm just watching as a casual fan, and boom, I'm like, wow, this is exciting. Wow. So very much.
It was almost a disbelief. Like you thought he would get something.
Yeah.
And you're just like, damn, like he just beat the man like that. Because I mean, Usman's the dude. Like he's that guy in the UFC. Like for sure, like the best easily in the UFC, easily. So like to end his streak, 15 straight wins in the UFC like that. I mean, after Usman was dominating him, like that's just crazy. And then the Usyk fight, then that's awesome.
It was an awesome fight.
We thought it was done after the 9th round, honestly. The 9th round was super scary for Usyk. It looked like his body gave up on him. It looked like the body shots really got him, paralyzed him, stunned him. And then you could just say, it's not how you get knocked down, how you gonna answer back. When you face adversity like that, where you're about to go out, what are you gonna do? And he really showed why he's one of the best fighters, no doubt about it.
Shit,
because he almost ended Joshua right back in the 10th round. He almost ended Joshua in the 10th round.
Yeah, he got up like it was round 2 in the 10th round. I'm like, yo, you was out. Joshua was like 1 or 2 punches away from getting a knockdown, and he came out in round 10 like,
no, and he was on the verge of a robbery. It was on the verge of the robbery because if Usyk wouldn't have won those 10th and 9th, 11th, if he didn't win that 10th round, bro, he would have got robbed. If he didn't win that 10th round, that's why it wasn't.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was saying that's Usyk's that very deep amateur pedigree that he has.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like that, you could tell when he came off of that 10th. You know that's like I said before. You could see that his amateur pedigree. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, he's going back to that because, again, with Joshua, he's used to, the guys, what's the name? Brazil. What was the dude name that he fought?
Dominic Brazil.
What's his name? Bredeville.
Dillian White.
Oh yeah, that's the Dillian Whites. I forget his name is Bransville or something like that. Them type of guys where, again, you get them going and they don't have that pedigree to dig down into. Again, with Usyk, I guess what he had, like 200 amateur fights or something like that, 300 amateur fights or something like that. Yeah. So you dealing with a guy that you said what now?
He's a medalist.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So you, like I said, you dealing with a guy that has a deep amateur pedigree and then fuck the best of the world. You know what I'm saying? You can see him dig down up in there, man. His that experience is, some mud for real.
Right. Hell of a pedigree.
It was honestly beautiful as well. It was beautiful to see. I mean, that's what you want out of your champions, bro. You want her to answer when tough times call. That's what really shows you what you're made of as a human. And and not only that, he literally came out and took it to him right off the jump at the 10th round. He said, "There ain't no games no more."
Nah, zero.
Like something woke up in him and it looked like, man. I was like, man, he might stop him. But I was like, it's something about Joshua. You got to give him credit, man. Joshua, whatever they want to say about him, man, he fought hard. I honestly think Robert was pretty good for the corner. I mean, I just think the real reason why he lost is just Usyk's put too much time in this. Didn't they say Joshua was started fighting like a year before the Olympics? Yeah,
3 years before.
Yeah, so like this guy Usyk's been doing this since a kid, 4 or 5 years old. Like this is what he's been doing.
And that's the difference.
Dancing. That's the difference. That literally just a small little differences that make it. He has easily 10,000 more hours than Joshua. Easily in the gym. And that's not from Joshua now working hard. That's just from how long he's been doing it.
Right.
And it adds up. It's like what you're doing with your kid right now. Your kid's playing the piano at his age compared to someone that plays at 18. Obviously, your kid's going to have more experience with the piano down the line. It's just obviously putting in more work.
Right.
And then the last thing I want to say, I don't know if you saw the Badu Jack fight.
No, I heard he was robbed. He heard the guy got robbed against Badu.
They robbed me of a lot of money, Fred. I'm not gonna lie to you. Fred, in all of my years of watching fights, ever seen a 4-minute round? 4-minute round, Fred.
Set it up for me. So what happened?
Fred, I'm not even playing. Every round, this is like 9th round. This guy's putting in work. Popeye, that's what they're calling him. He's on his belt, Popeye. Fred. I'm even looking like they're not even on the clock anymore. And I get a text from my brother, man, is this round going longer than expected? And then the announcer's like, this is like a 4-minute round. They're like, what's going on here? And I'm like, man, what's going on here? Like they trying to rob him. But this is when Badu Jack's coming on, pounding him, pouring it on him. I'm like, man, what the fuck? I'm like, and then they at the end of the round, right when the other round started, they said the round was 3 minutes and 58 seconds. How the fuck does that? It's like you can that's the fix of all fixes.
Damn
it's
sure
like
was.
Every round before, every single round before is 3 minutes. Bell rang at the right time. Then this round out, and all of a sudden, where Rivera getting a little bit more gas. They're like, you know what? Let's make it a 4-minute round so Badu Jack can come. Badu Jack, I'm telling you, he did all the damage that round in the part that doesn't count. That's really what won the fight. Both
wait.
Where Badou Jack won by 1 round.
So what happened?
You need to find a video of this.
So the guy that was fighting Badou Jack won round 9.
Rivera.
He won round 9, but they extended it for a minute.
Wait, what are you talking about? You're saying he won the round. They were even saying on the cards that he won. That if the round would have ended when it was time, he would have.
Oh,
because Badou Jack was doing nothing,
and gotcha. And Badou Jack won the round because of the extra 58 seconds.
Yeah, because he's pouring it on him. Out of nowhere, Rivera's just like holding on for dear life. I'm like, what is going on? I mean, it was a good ass fight. That's why I thought the card was good, because all were honestly good. Like every single big time favorite, like Badou Jack was like minus 800, and he lost the fight. And then the other guy, the Chinese guy, was minus 750, and he lost. So I mean, it was for underdogs. It was a fight, really good card. That one just got me real upset. Where I've never seen that. I mean, and of course they can do it in the middle. 4-minute round, and of course they can do it at 1 p.m. at Eastern Standard Time, where no one's watching these fights. They're like, you know what, we can't let Badou Jack go home, because there was no way he was gonna win that fight. He wasn't getting his ass beat, but like he was doing nothing. He was for sure obviously landing the harder punches, but like he was like Joshua, landing the more harder punches, but the other guy was like Usyk, landing more punches, more effective, doing the more work, and they robbed him. That's just some bullshit, honestly. I mean, that just shows you how corrupt boxing is.
Yeah, they find ways. They definitely find ways to create an advantage, man. Definitely.
No, that's some of the craziest shit you'll ever see. I mean, I don't know who's gonna talk about. I don't know who will. I don't even know how many people. Like 500 people in the world that saw it live, to be honest.
Yeah, because I definitely didn't see it.
So I'm telling you.
I heard about it. I read about it.
And then, oh no, you did hear about it. Oh, at least you heard about it. I mean, honestly, I thought they wouldn't even talk about it, because it was just so later. It was literally like 4 hours before the main event. I was like, that's just crazy. No, and then the other guy that looked good, Callum Smith, bro, he ended that. I don't know how good, but he taught that other dude a lesson. He's got some real pop in his hands now. The guy that fought Canelo. Smith? I mean, if he fought Canelo now, bro, I think he'd have a he taught that dude a lesson. Bro, he bullied him, bro. He literally destroyed him. I don't know who he fought, how good they were, some French guy, but he literally fucked him up. I mean, he looks like he's grown into the weight now. So I mean, I don't know how good he'll be. They're like saying better be. I mean, that doesn't sound like a smart idea, honestly.
Nah,
they're like trying to throw. I don't think it's a good idea to throw people to the wolves. Zudo Ramirez, I think.
Yeah, that's a good fight. I'm interested in that. I've never seen November 5th. Oh, you're gonna like that fight. Oh, Zurdo is he's an offensive machine. He can throw every punch, man. Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah.
No, and I think another good fight this week is I think Comey's fighting this week. That's another guy. That guy's fought like 4 times this year.
Who's that?
Richard Comey, bro. He's fought like 3 or 4 times this year.
Who's he fighting this week?
He's fighting Pedraza. That's another guy that's fought like 3 times this year.
Really?
Yeah, like out of nowhere. Like they said it was this. I think it's this week. Yeah, it's on Saturday.
Yeah. Who's the main event?
They're the main event, and the co-main event is Jared Anderson.
Oh yeah, that's the card. Yeah. I heard.
And then they'll probably have like some other prospects on the card. But I mean that just like you said, these PBC fighters, they get in one fight every 2 years. You look at Eddie Hearn and Bob Arum. These guys are getting 3, 4. Some of them even getting 5 fights a year.
Fundora got a date, October 8th.
But what, you think it's because you think Fundora's taking less as well?
No, he's a Samson fighter. He's not a PBC fighter.
But what do you think the reason is for some of these fighters getting? I mean, I think obviously they don't have the money, they don't have the dates, but I do think that these fighters are probably asking for a lot more than what they're worth as well.
Yeah, they have guarantees, but you got to take into account Al overpaid them the same way Eddie Hearn overpaid them to come into the marketplace.
No doubt.
You know, so they're under those contracts, and they can't, and you can't afford to pay them because they have guarantees in their contracts. So
like a guy like Comey, what's Comey making? If he's fighting 3-4 times, do you think he's making at least 200 a fight?
Who's that?
150. Richard Comey?
Yeah, 50, he's probably
60?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I mean, bro, I don't get why some of these fighters don't do that. I mean, bro, in reality, if you're fighting 4 times a year and you're making 200K a year, that's 800K, and then you got to pay obviously the taxes and everything, your trainers. I mean, it's more than fighting once every 5 years.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad, man.
No, man, it is bad.
It's bad, man. This shit is fucking awful.
I mean, if you think about it, you should have guys like Boots, and it's like you're just talking about your young stars. These are guys that should be fighting 3-4 times a year. Just even if they're fighting layups, like it's just. I mean, that's what these guys did in the 80s and the 90s. They fought a bunch of layup guys just to keep their names out there, get the fans riled up, and then maybe they fought 1 or 2 big fights a year.
Wow, this is his 7th fight during COVID.
Which one?
His 7th fight. He was since Wilder Fury 2. This is his 7th fight since Wilder Fury 2. Yep.
He gets, and what about Isak Cruz? I mean, he probably has almost 7 as well.
Yeah, he's damn. It's
just he was on that Errol Spence card against. That's where I first saw him against Magladana, and he KO'd him. That's when I first found out about him.
Yep. Damn.
Oh, no doubt.
His 7th fight. His 7th fight since Wilder Fury 2. That was the last part of COVID. When COVID started. What's up?
What do you think he makes? You think I mean, I would assume he makes at least 100.
Yeah, but there's other fighters in PBC that's in that bracket.
That one. What do you think more the exact number is?
Sebastian 150.
Yeah, like he's like I mean, it's obviously gone higher per the fight.
No, he's a main event fighter. No, the last 2 fights, he's probably making about 300.
That's a lot of bread, bro.
Yeah, but you see how Showtime cut their budget, though. You know, he's fighting Ocampo versus Sebastian Fortuna. It's not Jermall Charlo versus Ocampo. It's not Jermall Charlo versus Ocampo. So you see how the Showtime cut their budget.
But shit, I mean, if they're gonna give me 5 fights a year, I'll take 300.
Yeah.
And if you're fighting layups, like I mean, I don't know who Ocampo is. To be
Ocampo, he lost to Earl Spence in Earl Spence homecoming fight.
So
June of 17.
I mean,
damn. I told man, listen, this is his 7th fight. Make this shit make sense. I should post that shit on Instagram just to piss people off.
I mean, good for Fundora though.
No, I'm not mad at him.
No.
Hell no, I'm not mad at Fundora.
In reality, the only ones that should be mad are the fighters because they're the ones that made the decision.
Yeah, facts.
And they're the ones not getting the dates. If anything, they should go to Samson. See if Samson's willing to
sign with him.
I mean, they'll obviously have to give Samson a big cut because, I mean, there's going to be a line.
Yo, this is ridiculous, man. His 7th fight, dog. Damn, this is 7th fight, dog. Hey, who do you think Wilder was talking about when he was complaining about the business of boxing?
For sure, Al. Maybe Steven.
Yeah. I think he was just generally talking from everything he sees. But, like, because I don't want to pinpoint nobody specifically. But, like, I do know, and, like, I'm listening to what y'all saying. That's why I had to beam back in, because I really feel like it's the money, like you just said. And these guys, everybody that you're naming, they're willing to be on the undercard, bro. Like they're willing to be undercard fighters and pretty much take whatever they're really being offered. Some people really have, but don't get me wrong, bro, because like I'm really torn about it because I understand why certain people like Charlos feel like they probably want more money. They're champions. They have belts. For example, Jermall, though, he's an undisputed champion basically. So it's like, yeah, and Jermall, he's middleweight champion. I mean, it don't seem like it because we all be wondering who Jermall be fighting, but Jermall is the WBC middleweight champion. So he probably does expect a certain amount of money. And then they look at that whole Fedora card, like that whole card is probably as much as Jermall wants by himself.
Less.
Like, you see what I mean? Like, yeah, like for real, it's probably less. The whole card.
Way less.
And Jermall probably wants the whole bag for, like, come on, man. Like, and I understand you're a champion, but it's like, it's just crazy. And then, so, what scenario is he in? Because I was trying to understand. You said that he was in a scenario. Is he like about to lose his house or some shit?
Oh, his wife said that.
Oh.
Yeah, his wife went to social media. I don't know why she went to social media.
Yeah, because you know, you got to control your woman, bro. You can't let your woman put your business out there like that. You know, Fred. Like on a personal note, that's dang, man. Why she do that to them? But yeah, bro. Like that's the decisions. Like I'm. That's why I'm in. As I'm teaching my son myself. I'm just observing everything, so I know what the heck we gonna do when it's time when you in that position. Otherwise, yeah, you find yourself because everybody was on that Al Heyman dance wagon. Whoever would have known it would have crashed like this. I swear, 5 years ago, everybody was thank you Al Heyman, and it seemed like it was a nice routine. And now we at this point where, like you said, it's really sad. It's really, really sad that because now they're all just sitting around waiting. So this is when we really find out who's really free agents like they act like they are. Because if you're a real free agent and you starving, oh, you're gonna figure out a way to eat, you know. So like, man, that's sad. Sad that it's even out there like that. Jermall going through that, man. Sorry to hear that that's happening to his family, but it's like obviously this is all they rely on. You gotta have smart investments too.
It's the only ones that are losers are the fans, bro.
Yeah. And go ahead, Fred.
No, it just goes to show you Bob Aaron was right. Al Heyman's gonna destroy the sport because he came in here to funnel money. You know what I mean? And overpay the fighters and change the dynamics of the business of boxing. Now, it would have worked if he would have valued it and created his own the zone platform and you know, and did it that way. But now it's tough sledding. Like
it's the end of the road.
No, it is. It's over because you literally saw Showtime go from Jermall Charlo main event to Sebastian Fondurna main event in a span of June, July, August, in 5 months. You literally saw it. And there's nothing you can say. It's over. It's over.
There was only one person I know saying it before, though. It was you.
Yeah. I was the crazy one. I told you summer 22. It's gonna be it's gonna
because you know we all wanted to believe that everybody was deserved more money and that type of stuff. But reality is what reality is in this scenario.
Yeah.
Whole lot of Tesla talks. Whole lot of Tesla.
Whole lot of Tesla talk. I wonder what Mr. Fuller got to. What's on your mind tonight, Mr. Fuller?
What's going on, Fred?
Hey, it's great to see
you. On the panel, how you guys doing?
Oh, it's good, brother.
Sean, how you doing, sir? And I guess Kane's Cat, Finn's Heat 305. Okay. I didn't really get a chance to listen in totally what you're talking about. But Fred, the one thing I wanted to tell you that you said earlier today, or I think it's maybe Friday, you talked about making sure you fall in love with your needs more than your wants.
That's fact.
That made a lot of sense. That made a lot of sense, man. I just wanted to thank you for putting that out because I mean,
thank you.
Yeah, that was good. That was good info, good information. And here's the thing: whenever you get to a point where you feel like you can't learn from someone, especially someone who's living a certain life, but you can learn from anyone. You can learn from someone on the corner drinking wine. You can learn from them if you listen long enough.
Right.
So the point is, whenever you get to a point where you feel like you can't learn anything, and at that point you become a fool. So I appreciate what you put out. But as far as the showtime, yeah, you can definitely see the decrease, the decrease in the value of the fights.
The talent level. Ocampo? How the hell Ocampo get a main event, dog? God, PBC got. I'm sorry, sir. You ain't. Go ahead. It's all you. Because I got the end of the show to do my rant. Go ahead.
I was done. I was done.
Oh yeah, and this is basically This is basically Bob Arum during COVID. Ocampo versus Frondor. This is a COVID fight. It is, man.
Yeah. Something's going on with the. I think maybe the UFC is dominating the combat sports arena, pretty much. Maybe that's what's going on. I'd like to see HBO get back involved.
You need somebody.
Yeah, if HBO got back involved, even though I didn't like the way that they treated Floyd Mayweather when he was fighting,
they're very disrespectful.
Yeah, and I think that was their downfall. But I would like to see them get back into it because boxing is, that's a sport that has a lot of history in it, and it really, I think it parallels a lot of things we have to face in life. You can learn a lot from just watching boxing.
Right.
Some of the tenets that you need to have in order to survive,
right,
and thrive in this life. So I it's a pastime that we don't need to let degrade to the point that it is right now. I'd hope that HBO or some other large network would get into it.
We need
get
help.
back into it. Yeah,
we need help. We need help, and I don't want a monopoly in America, and the monopoly would be Bob Arum. I don't want that. Nah, we can't have monopoly. So
no,
that would be bad for the sport.
And there's a lot of good fights out there that just not happening because the politics and the finances of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I wish there was Fred, you're a smart guy and you got deep pockets.
My pockets ain't boxing deep, man. My pockets is Hawthorne already. It's just enough to raise a family and create.
Well, they're deeper than mine. Hey, but check this out, man. If you had a $250,000 and you wanted to invest in an assured thing, well, I guess not a sure thing, but nothing's 100% sure.
Right.
But the closer to 100% you can get, the better. That would have a decent return. What would you do?
I would get as many units as I could.
You do what?
I would buy as many units as I could.
Okay.
Or two, I would put. I'm gonna tell you what I would do. This is fresh. Just say no advice.
Even with the interest rates, as they are right now.
I was about to answer that right now.
Okay.
And I would invest in the seasonal stock. Right now, I have Macy's. Toys R Us is making a comeback, so I want to see how they do. I'm up just over $1 on there, and then a seasonal stock would be like the manufacturers of who sells the most turkeys, who sells the most hams, Amazon for a month, if you can afford Amazon.
What's Amazon going for right now?
I'll tell you right now. Mm-hmm. I can tell you right now.
I guess I can look it up too.
Yeah.
I guess you couldn't lose with Amazon.
Oh, not during the holidays. 138. $138.
$138
Yeah, $138 a share. Yeah.
Yeah.
So something like that,
Well, I said $250,000, so I can afford that.
Yeah. So Yeah, and then you hopefully you get a 15% return, a 10 to 15% on your return, and then
Right.
you push that until because I would say round about election time, because I got a refi in like 2 years on this house, and hopefully I can get some better deals on my properties,
On your interest rates?
yeah, fuck yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
hell yeah. I'm always
Yeah.
refi,
Okay.
and um, I get some good interest rates. But if you get the deal on the properties, that would be great too. Like say you get a 10-unit apartment, check what Section 8 gives for a 1 bedroom or a 2 bedroom, depending on what you get. So let's say you get 5 1 bedrooms, 5 2 bedrooms. Check Section 8 in that county, see how much they pay for it, and that would be the market rate. That would be the market rent. So you times
Well,
total.
one thing. I'm sorry, man. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying that would give you an idea of what the market rent is. You
Sure.
understand? So
Yeah.
it's not that you're going to get it and or not get it, but you know how much the minimum you can charge, because Section 8, that's the minimum you can charge a person if you just want a regular person that has a job and kids and a family.
Sure.
It's based off of Section 8. So
Okay.
so that would give you an idea, and then obviously you do the simple math equation, a water bill,
Sure.
exterior stuff, landscaping, water, insurance,
That's
tax.
Section 8. Yeah, the Section 8 deal, when you're dealing with people, and this may be a stereotype that
Mhm.
that may not be existing anymore or have any validity.
Uh-huh.
A lot of Section 8 folks, man, they tear your property up. They'll tear your stuff up.
Yeah,
They'll
you
get
got
in
to
there.
vet them.
You
You
end up
definitely
with
have to vet them.
thousands of damage, huh?
You have to vet them. You
Right.
have to vet them. If you don't vet them, you will pay
You'll be in
later.
the hole.
Yeah,
Yeah, you'll be in the hole.
that's what any tenant. But the Section 8 money is guaranteed, and
Will
so
they pay for damages? Will they pay for damages to your property?
it's always your fault.
Always.
Always
So
your
it's
fault.
on you. It's on you. Period.
Yeah, not unless you go in there with the videos. What you do is you video the apartment before you move in, and that way you
Right.
have it as your offense, and you send it to the caseworker. Well, you're gonna do a inspection anyway, but it's
Right.
time stamped in the email when you email the tenant, and you email the if you have any doubts, you can email it to the caseworker. Say, here, I just wanted to give you guys a video of the apartment for your records. You're not being defensive then, but
Right.
you would have an idea. And if the problem still persists, then you
If
got to
you're
figure out.
Section 8,
Yes.
if you're Section 8 tenant, I'm talking yourself, your Section 8 tenant. If they damage your property and you have proof that they damaged it,
Oh
will
yeah.
the government then come in and pay for the damages or no?
Not necessarily. You go another route. You go another route. You say that you're in fear for your life. You call the police, and you're in fear for your life. And then that will accelerate the process of the
Getting
eviction
them removed.
process. Yeah, getting the paperwork, because you don't want to go the money route because the money is guaranteed. And what you do want to go about is a safety protocol for your tenants. That's the easiest way with Section 8. And then here's what's going to happen. They don't want to lose Section 8. They don't. If they get evicted, they lose Section 8. So they would lose their Section 8. So they would move them. More than likely move them.
So they have a motivation to actually take care of your property as well.
Oh
Because
yeah.
if they get it, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
All right. I'll change this topic. I'll change the subject.
No problem.
Appreciate it.
Oh, no worries. All the time, dog. Anything else? Oh, what? Oh, yeah. Oh, Lucifer. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Man, I was very, very disappointed in the outcome on that fight because I thought it was a much better fight than the first one. And I thought Anthony Joshua had a really good plan in regards to, going to the body because Usyk moves his head a lot. But I just thought he had a very poor jab. His jab was very poor, and he used it when he put it out there. He used it almost to get a measure on Usyk, but he didn't throw a powerful. I wanted to see a powerful mule kick of a jab. I know he's got it,
right?
But the problem was he was aiming at the guy's head, and the guy was constantly moving his head. I was hoping he would just jab at his chest,
Right.
Jab at his chest. If you jab at his chest and you keep that jab working, then you neutralize some of that movement. And you get a good measure on him, so he could have come because he never really had a chance to throw that straight right hand. Up top. And so I thought that Garcia, and that's one thing too. He had a good game plan. The only issue he had is he didn't use his jab because he was looking to jab his head instead of jabbing his chest. If he'd have jabbed at his chest, he wouldn't have won that fight. The other portion of it was he ran out of gas. He ran out of gas about 8, running out of gas about 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I'd say the 9th round, he was starting to get on, his legs were gone.
Right.
And one of the things that I kind of see between him and Wilder, to a larger extent, Wilder, is I don't think those guys do road work. I don't think they run. You actually mentioned that Wilder runs now.
Yeah.
But I don't think Anthony Joshua runs. And I think for those big guys like that, the reason why Fury, I think he's so resilient and has so much endurance is that he runs a lot. He runs. So when he gets to those later rounds, he knows how to kick his cardiovascular system into that next level. And power through those rounds. But those guys, man, they're big like that, and they don't understand that you have to train your heart and your lungs to carry that weight. And the only way you're gonna do that is you have to run. You got to get that road work in. And I don't think they're doing that. I'd be interested in finding out what his training regimen is like, but I don't think he's running enough. I think if you get his cardio up, he's running enough to carry that weight. Then he would have won that fight. He would have won that fight. I mean, he's obviously the bigger, stronger guy. Usyk moves a lot, but you neutralize that movement with the jab. You jab his chest. Don't jab at his head. And he knew he couldn't hit him in his head with the jab because the guy was constantly moving his upper body. But if you aim for his chest, you're gonna stop some of that movement. I mean, I don't know.
No, you're right. You making a great point. Just keep touching him. Keep touching him. You know, he used feints and footwork and hand placements, you know.
Right.
He did a good job attempting to punch through his guard, you know. But he was cognizant of his gas tank the whole fight. Because you could see him trying to place the right hand. You know, you could totally tell he wanted that. And he's like, man, okay, I can't let it go. I can't let it go. I gotta be conservative. You know.
The other two guys dropped off. Was I talking too much? What happened?
No, we're fine. No. They can come in.
So yeah, I congratulations to Usyk and
yeah, for sure.
You know what his people are going through over there. So I understand he had a lot riding on the results of that fight. So I think he's a good fighter. I think that he has mastered the art of using his movement to these super heavyweights. He knows how to get out of the way of those movements. But I think if he fights Tyson Fury, if Fury's really using his jab, he'll beat Usyk. I believe he'll beat him. Just because that jab is a neutralizer. If you don't have to hit the fighter's head. Just hit even if you jab his chest, jab his arms, shoulders, that's enough to neutralize that movement, so you can follow with that right hand. I think Joshua needs to get rid of Garcia as a coach. I would like to see Joshua go get Derek James, because I know Derek James, man, would definitely have him in the cardiac vascular conditioning where he can fight 15 rounds, not 12, 15. And he have him good cardiovascularly, and then I think that he'd also help him, just those little small things like don't aim at his head. You got to use the jab. The jab is everything in a fight like that. You have to use the jab, but you just don't jab at his head, jab at his chest. Just touch him.
Yep. Yeah.
So, but congratulations to Usyk. That was I was disappointed because I wanted to see AJ get that big fight with Fury. I think that would have been a record-breaking fight. And I also think AJ is a decent dude. So I just think he got the wrong trainer. I mean, Robert Garcia had a good plan, but he didn't prepare him cardiovascularly for that fight.
Right.
Because he didn't prepare him to deal with that movement. And that's
sparring. They should have had sparring, and but you're big on the cardiovascular, and you're absolutely right. He wasn't.
Definitely. Well, you're a runner, right?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't consider myself a runner now, but I consider myself a workout guy. But yeah,
yeah. Yes, and I was in the military for 25 years, so I ran.
For sure.
I ran all the time. So I know, when it's all said and done, you that cardio, man, that's the key.
Right.
It comes to when you're that endurance, because really that's all, that leg strength, which is what he was lacking at the end there.
Right.
And then his heart being able to carry that weight into those later rounds and lungs.
Right.
Yeah.
No, you're right. No, you dead on with that, man. And I don't know if his body's gonna change, but his body can change. But you got to put that work in. You got to put the miles in.
Yeah, well, he's definitely. I mean, you can tell he's in that gym, man, without a doubt. He is one of the world's best athletes. But to build that endurance and be able to carry that heavy weight into those later rounds, he's got to put that road work in. And I don't think guys understand that. You can sit around. You can go in and spar, 12 rounds, but that's nothing like getting you a 5-mile run in every morning in regards to, or even 3 miles every morning, 3 miles every morning, 3 to 4 miles every morning, 5 days a week to get your cardio up.
Right.
And then you go on a long run once a week, which may, be 5 to 6 miles. You do that gets your cardio to a point where you almost have an extra gear from a cardiovascular standpoint. When you get in those later rounds, you can go, and you saw that in Usyk. Usyk was able to draw on that.
Right.
It's obvious to me that he runs. It's that's the key.
Well, and he's a years ahead too.
Oh, you mean the talent, skill?
No, just from the preparation. Like he probably started at an earlier age.
Oh yeah. But you know what? I actually, and I think that's what allowed him to stay in the fight. But if he would have ran out of gas, he would have got stopped too. I think the difference between Wilder and Fury and AJ and Usyk really comes down to cardiovascular endurance. Because it really can't. I thought that, and a lot of people that were scoring the fight, I had the fight going into the 9th round. I had the fight pretty close. I had it where it was like 1 round difference. And so going into that 10th, 11th, and 12th round, that's when Usyk pulled away. He kicked into that next gear, and start moving a lot. And as he increases intensity from a cardiovascular standpoint, AJ just kept decreasing. He kept fading. So I think that was the difference in the fight.
You're right. You're right. And I think moving forward, do you think AJ should fight Wilder?
No.
Really?
I don't want to see that fight. No.
You don't?
I don't want to see that fight. I don't want to see that fight. I want AJ to go back and man, I wish he would get with Derek James, man. I wish he would get with Derek James. And then I don't want to see him fight Wilder because I think I don't want to see that fight. I don't think I ever really want to see it. But
Really?
I definitely don't want to see it now. Nah, because they're both I want to see those guys. Those guys deserve to fight for a title. And I don't want to see them fight each other unless they have titles. If they have titles, then yeah. But if this is not a title fight, I don't want to see it. Yeah, I would like to see AJ and Wilder get to a point where they can challenge for the title again. And I think really both of those guys, I don't know if but both of them, if they deal with that cardiovascular issue, the cardiovascular issues that they end up having at certain periods in the fight, Wilder a lot earlier than AJ, but still you could tell AJ was really paying attention to his endurance in that fight. Like he's like, I know I'm going to run out of gas.
Right.
I'm going to stay on this stool the whole time, the whole minute, and get up at the last second, and those sort of things. And then even too, if your fighter has some issues with the endurance in their legs, usually they'll help them off even though they don't need help off the stool, you'll help them off the stool because that takes a lot of energy, when you weigh, 250,
right,
to get up off the stool. So you'll help him off the stool so he doesn't have to stretch his legs, I just thought Robert Garcia didn't do a good job in motivating AJ.
Yeah, the connection wasn't there.
Nah, it wasn't, man. And you could tell because the post-fight conference, AJ didn't even have Robert Garcia there. He wasn't even there. The post-fight interview.
Yeah, I got it.
When they went in and did the conference and AJ broke down, started crying a little bit. Yeah.
Good point. He wasn't there. Yeah.
He wasn't there, man. He wasn't there. And so, you could tell that wasn't. And then you heard Robert Garcia talking like, oh, well, he should do good. He didn't really talk super confident about AJ's abilities. But the bottom line is AJ is a champion. He should have won that fight, but he ran out of gas. He ran out of gas and he didn't use it. He ran out of gas and he didn't use the jab, and he knew he didn't have the conditioning to throw 20 jabs. I was expecting him to throw 20 jabs around.
Easily. Yeah.
Yeah, 20 jabs around, man. I mean, if he would have kept that stick on him like that for the duration of the fight, I think he would have neutralized some of that movement.
Oh, for sure.
And been able to set him up for and don't jab at his head, jab at his chest. I just thought he didn't have the right support. I think Derek James would have, because I've heard Derek James tell both Charlo and Earl Spence, jab at his chest. He'll tell him things like that, when the guy has a lot of upper body movement. And I just thought Robert Garcia was AJ's got to get some guys in his corner that really want to see him succeed. And I think that and will tell him the things he needs to do in order to be successful and challenge him to do those things like road work. And the other part that I thought that I just thought Robert Garcia, I don't know if he was 100% behind AJ. And I think that kind of showed through when he didn't even go to the post-fight conference.
Good point.
I don't know whether he Yeah, I don't know whether he wasn't invited or what, you know.
Good point.
But he didn't show up. Yeah.
Yeah, great points. I just wouldn't. I'm just not a Robert Garcia guy, man. I don't. I think he's overrated. I think we've fallen in love with the narrative that Ellie has produced, and we've fallen in love with the family. You know, but
Right.
in terms of their ability to produce champions and winners at the elite level against elite competition, it hasn't translated. The
No.
conversion rate is rather low.
Right.
You know, so
Yeah.
yeah, it is.
And then Robert Garcia is a different type of champion too. He was a champion, but he's definitely not on the champion. He's not on the level of a Floyd Mayweather or a Anthony Joshua.
Facts.
He's not that. Yeah. So
Facts.
his pedigree is definitely not there.
Right.
But anyway, where's your buddy at? Your protege?
Oh, Kyle works on Sundays. Kyle does security at a club.
Yeah, that dude said something to me last week. He asked me something about have I ever ran a red light or something. I didn't know what he was talking about.
Oh, now you got it. Now you get it.
No, I don't. I still don't know what he's talking about. But I thought about it over the weekend. Though I'm like, what the hell? Because one night I went on to his show.
Oh, now you know what it is. Now you know what it means.
I don't. No.
Oh, it's having sex with a woman on her period.
Man, that dude's a piece of work.
Yeah,
that dude's a piece of work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I you know what I didn't know what the heck he was talking about. But anyway, I went on to his show one night and because I didn't have to go to work the next morning, and I ended up falling asleep. And I woke up and he was playing some video with my head on this dude that was locked up, a Muslim guy that was locked up in prison, talking about assalamu alaikum, and he was talking crazy. You know, it was you ask him about it anyway. So then he said something about a red light again. I was like, what is he talking about? But anyway, yeah.
But he'll be here tomorrow. I'll ask him to explain it. I don't know.
He's a piece of work. But he's doing good though. So he's, you know what? One of the things that I noticed about Kyle is that he listens. You notice that? Like sometimes, you know, there'll be a lot of guys talking on the forum, and he'll just sit there and listen. Right. And I think, I mean, that's a good quality when, just like I was saying before, when you know there's always something you can learn from other people. So yeah.
That's why I'm always quiet when y'all talk. The biggest reason, like outside of the respect factor.
Right. And I think that's really, hey, I was talking to someone earlier today, and I mentioned something. I want to see if you agree with this.
Okay.
I was talking to a guy, and I said, I guess the reason why it came up is because I was listening to some guys talk, and they were talking about, you know, women, men, and I don't like to use the words, but I'm gonna say this: a lot of the dudes, when they start talking about men or women, it's nigga this, bitch that, nigga this, bitch that, right?
Right.
And so I read this thing over the weekend, and it said, before you can actually destroy a people, you have to destroy the respect and love that they have for one another.
Wow.
Before you can actually destroy people, you have to destroy the respect and love that they have for one another. And I thought about that. I was like, you know, in the 60s, in the sick, and really, you know, whether the love and respect you have for one another is illustrated in the way that you speak to one another. Right.
You challenging me right now. Yeah.
No, I'm just, you know.
No, I need it because no, you're right. You're right.
I'm just connecting the dots. That's all.
Oh no, and I'm glad you did because when you say it from that perspective, it's like, wow, that's like a punch in the gut. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, yeah, well,
It
you know,
is.
that's real, man. I mean, like, that's why when I'm talking to my wife, I try to make sure that even if I get a little frustrated with her, I go back and I tell her, "Hey, this is why I said this, baby. This
Yeah.
is why this is what I'm feeling." You know,
Right.
and I let her know, you know, I just want to communicate with you so you understand exactly where I'm coming from. And
Right.
it took I wasn't always like that. You know, that took growth to get to
Oh, for
that point.
sure. For sure.
Yeah. You know what I
Every
mean?
in this chat can agree with you on that.
Right.
The
And
growth.
so when it's all said and done, you know, because women, they listen to the way, not just what you say, but how you say it.
Sure, that
And
tone.
so the tone. So the
Tone delivery.
communication that we have, because you could tell a woman just about anything that you want to tell her, and if she has enough respect, if she has respect for you, eventually she'll think about it and change if she's right, if you're right. She'll change if you're right, you know, if she feels you're right. But if
Right.
you come and what you tell her is very disrespectful and it's not taking into account her feelings and in the way that she's emotionally and physically made up as
Right.
an emotional spirit, emotional person, because
Right.
most women go by their emotions. If you don't take those things into account when you say things to them, then even if you are right, it's going to be very difficult for them to fully accept what you're saying. And
Right.
so I always try to pay attention to that. But what I was getting at is this. Um, the saying says that in order to destroy a people, you must first destroy their respect and their love for one another. And I was
Mhm.
thinking about, you know, how we address one another in
Right.
today's society, and how when I was growing up, you just didn't hear. I mean, I heard the N word all the time, nigga this, nigga that, you know. But the bottom line is, I never heard us referring to our women as bitches all the
Mm.
time. I never heard that growing up, man. And so that was a very odd situation when I was growing up. When I heard that word, it was always out of anger or spite. It wasn't just a normal way of addressing our women. And uh, I thought about back in the '60s when when black people in this country, African American people, actually changed the course of the nature, changed the course of the nation, and really set an example to other people around the world how to bring about social change through unity and collective action. Um, and I think the difference between now and then is back then we had a basic respect and love for one another uh, that doesn't exist now. And the danger in not having that now is that I really believe we're going to end in the next 200 years. We may just be an artifact in someone's museum uh, because obviously our communities and our attitudes and our relationships with one another on a destructive path. We may just be artifacts in museums in the next 200 years in this country if we don't correct that. We have to learn somehow how to regain that respect and love for one another.
Right.
Yeah. What do you think?
I'm in agreement. And as you were talking, I'm just thinking introspective. Like, am I breathing life into the next person? You know, like how demonstrative, maybe that's too big of a strong of a word, but it's fine. How demonstrative are my words, you know, and obviously the slang terms that you've mentioned. Um, I've never thought of it from that perspective. Um, I've always I've gone back and forth on it. I didn't use the N word for years, and then I said forget it.
Right.
Um, uh,
Right.
uh, And I said, the power of my tongue is more important than an outsider's interpretation, like how I frame words, so that's where I'm at now. And then to hear you say what you just said, it's like, oh my gosh, like the last thing I want is for us to have no value at all.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, I don't think that's like for people like you, Fred, for folks that kind of understand that there's certain ways to live life in order to be successful. There's certain principles, foundational ways of conducting business and living in order to live a prosperous life. I don't think that we have that issue, and maybe I don't think we do. I think for the most part we understand how important respect is.
Right.
You know, but there's a lot of people who do not. You
Yeah.
know, they talk over each other. They don't listen to one another. Constantly arguing for the sake of arguing, not arguing for the sake of being right, not for finding out what the right thing is. And
Right.
usually when you're in a discussion with someone, you want to find out what's right, and that should be your goal, to discover what's right, not to just be right. Because when you go into a conversation with someone and all you want to do is be right, then that's a show of disrespect,
Right.
right? Because you don't respect their opinion, don't respect their
Sure.
viewpoints, you don't respect their intellect, their wisdom. You don't respect that, so you just want to be right. And I think that's a lot of people experience that in society, in corporate America, things like that. But we have to learn as a community not to be that way with one another, to actually engage in conversations with the intent to figuring out what the right answer is, and not just to be right. You know, that's
Yeah,
fundamental.
it's called
Go ahead,
productive confrontations. It's called productive confrontations. And you see, I read a whole book about it, man. I really read a lot of this stuff when it comes to communicating, and that's really what it is. It's called productive confrontations, because confrontations are gonna happen. Now, are you getting production out of it? Because you see, that's what I learned too from just all my experience. But I do security, so I have to learn how to communicate with people everywhere. There's people that are gonna be ignorant towards you. There's people that are gonna listen to you, and what I learned is like you got to take the time to meet somebody where they're at, understand them, and then try to go there. But that's hard to do with certain people. Like we talked about earlier,
Right.
that's a task. It sounds easy, but the part where us as black people make it hard is when we're like you said, the tone, because the tone alone can make the next person respond in the wrong way, and people don't understand how fast stuff happens, bro. Like that happens, this happens, and the next thing you know, somebody hits somebody. Next thing you know, someone wants to shoot somebody, and that's exactly what you mean when you say we will be extinct. Like that's it's the pattern. It plays out all the time, and it's all starting what you said, the lack of knowing how to communicate with each other.
Right. I don't think,
Like,
you know what? I think learning how to communicate, or knowing how to communicate, is something that it's almost inherent or innate in our makeup and our being. I think the problem is, do you respect the person that you're communicating with? Because a lot of times when you talk about folks that you may run into that have a very ignorant disposition, or they don't want to uh, they communicate with you in a very abrasive, combative way. Usually, a lot of times they just don't have respect for you. You know what I mean? But there are people that they do respect, and they don't communicate with those people that way. Whether it be, I don't know who it may be. The point is that I think a lot of times the communication that happens between black people, and I'm just going to say black people in general, is disrespectful, because we've learned to disrespect one another. And it goes back to, the reasons why we can go from here to I mean, we could discuss that all night, the reasons
Exactly.
why. But the fact is that if you don't respect someone, it's going to be very difficult to communicate with them in a way that keeps the peace. You understand? You understand what I'm trying to say? So,
Yeah, I understand.
we're in a very
And
dangerous situation. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, I'm listening, and I'm just, and checking off, agreeing with you, because like that's exactly what it is. It becomes a very dangerous scenario. Like my dad, man, that was his ending. Like for him specifically, like he was that a part of that lifestyle. He ended up getting into a fight with somebody. People can't take ass whippings. He got shot on the way from the fight and killed, taken out like that. And it's like no one really knows the root of how this fight started, but I bet you it was over something really simple, like you said. And that's my point of what all of this is. It's like it can end just because of the lack of communication, just because you don't know how to communicate with somebody. And it was really deep what you just said about the bitches thing, because like, man, like I've been married since I was 19, 20. And it's like I ain't never ever think to call my woman nothing like that. Like we don't talk like that. But what I learned in this age and genre, bro, girls talk to each other like that. It's really sad. It's like they like it's like you said, there's no hope. And it gets a little scary. Like you said, if he keeps it this rate, we're going to be in the museum, because at this point, we've got our women to the point where they don't even respect each other enough when that word even comes out. Because before, man, in the early 90s, I would say, man, a girl try to fight you, you call her a B word.
Right.
Like it's on and cracking. Like that's disrespect. Now they're calling each other it like that's their way of communicating. So it's ugly. It's ugly when you think about it, because like that's what it is to me, bro. I look at that like it's real ugly when girls be calling each other bitches and hey bitch, how you doing? Like people talk to each other like that. I see it, and I just look at them like they crazy. But that's really how people talk to each other.
The operative phrase that you made in that, man, the operative phrase that you made in that statement is that we have our women. We have our women. We being men. See, here's the thing, whether you want to face it or not, just the natural state of things, right? And whether the feminists talk about it or not, whether we talk about it or not, the head of every, and this is biblical too, the head of every woman is man, and the head of every man should be God, right? That's biblical. But that's just the nature of things, man. The nature, you see it in nature all the time, right? And what it is, I said that to say this: our women are following our lead. They're following our lead, whether we want to accept it or not. If you don't believe it, you can just look at the WNBA. Look at how it tries to model itself off the NBA players. That may be a stretch of an example.
No,
but
you're right.
But my point is that whether we realize it or not, your woman is following you, and she's if you are worth following. She's assessing if you are worth following. She's doing that on a regular basis. She's assessing, is this man worth following? Women follow men. And so if we refer to them as bitches and hoes, okay, eventually they will accept that position.
No. And the deepest part about what you just said is that's the part, that's where we're at right now. And like we talk about it all the time, Fred, when I highlight the music, because the music is a good example of it too. Started with the dudes, they were disrespectful. Now the women are just completely disrespectful towards themselves at that. And like that it shows through everything. And it starts, like you said, with the women following. Because if you ask some of these women rappers these days who they looked up to, I guarantee you it was some gangster rapper dude from the early 2000s or something like that. Like they looked up to the rapper dude. They seen these videos. They seen how they got attention. It's once again back to attention, like we were saying too last week, Fred. It's like he what you said was the women are following the men. They're looking to see if the man is worth following, right? So what are they determining that off of? Your popularity, probably. Probably. So then it's like, what are we seeing that's popular? We are being shown negativity. We're being shown negativity, and that's what's being shown is popular, so that's why they start to behave that way. It's an ugly circle, but it's the ugly truth.
Yeah, our women are following us, whether we realize it or not. They're following us, and so it's natural, right? Because you look at the family structure, you have positional authority there. Just by nature, you have positional authority. I mean, and then you're obviously the stronger physical vessel in the relationship. So you got physical authority, you got positional authority. You know what I mean? So a woman is looking at her man for guidance, for leadership. That's what she's looking for. And whether we want to realize it or not, that's just the natural order of things. I mean, even when you lay down with a woman, I don't want to get too explicit. She has to submit herself and open herself up to you.
Right.
You understand? And so that natural order or way of having that relationship from a sexual standpoint bleeds over to every aspect of living. They actually take what we put into them and they allow that to flourish in their lives. Whether it be a baby, right? Whether it be an attitude or way of thinking about life and themselves, they actually look to us for that guidance. And so that's the power of referring to your women as bitches and hoes. That's the power. You speak that into existence.
I get it. Making sense. Nah, I appreciate y'all. I appreciate you bringing this up because, it's the power of the tongue.
It is
so important, man. And
I guess the brother dropped off.
Yeah, he dropped off.
I'm running him out of here tonight, Fred.
Yeah, you're running him out. He coming back. We can give our closing remarks though, but go ahead. You can give your closing remarks, Ray Sean.
Yeah, I got a call. That was my wife as we were speaking.
Okay.
So yeah, man, that was great conversation with you guys, bro. I love listening to you guys, and it's all about, figuring out how to communicate more and more, man. And it's about working together, man. We got to learn how to communicate better. As far as even us as the married men, we need to figure out how to change all that.
Right.
Change all that. Put these seeds out there because, like, I'll tell y'all, man, I'm not trying to make it seem like I'm rare, but ain't too many young ass married people, bro. And I don't have no friends like y'all to talk to about these type of things. Like,
and
for
make
real.
it.
And it's like that's really what goes on in the world, bro. It's sad. Like we lose friends because of that type of stuff. Me and my wife, because we can't hang around single people,
Right. Yep. They don't have the right mindset. Hey, Rashawn, how many children you have, if you don't mind me asking?
I have 4.
You got 4 kids?
Yep.
Boys, girls, what you got?
I got 2 boys and 2 girls.
Oh, great. Hey, man, first of all, I want to congratulate you on your family.
Absolutely.
All right. That's the first thing. The second thing is I want to praise you for being a father to those children.
Amen.
And a husband to your wife. And I want to encourage you to always put your family first, bro. What you have, and you don't, and I know you probably realize this, but I'm going to confirm it. What you have is a treasure that nothing in this world is worth trading for. Your family. Always hold on to that, bro.
Yep, I appreciate that, man.
Yep.
Nah, it's so true. So true. Man, family is, man.
That's it.
The family in your house. I'm not talking about
level one. Hey, level 1 family. Level 1 family.
Yeah, man. It's
because level 2 family take you out the game.
Yeah. Level 2. Boy, them level 2 family members, man. Sometimes they ain't, man.
They be the ones hating on you, man.
Facts.
No, that's exactly what it is.
Hey, and I'm not a religious person or anything like that, but I do know a little bit. But that's biblical too. When Christ was not a European, but when Christ was when he went back to his his hometown in Nazareth.
Bethlehem? Oh, Nazareth. Yeah,
Nazareth, yeah.
the King of Nazareth. Yeah.
Yeah. He wasn't able to do a lot of miracles there. And they were asking him, hey, why don't you do as many miracles here in your hometown as you do other places? And he was talking about the lack of faith there in his town. And he says a prophet is never accepted in his hometown. What I'm saying is that, you know, we grow up in these families, you know, and we branch out and we do things, we achieve things based on our faith and hard work, and things that people don't think that we should have been able to achieve or accomplish or have in our lives. And they still want to see you in that old light. They don't want to see you as a new person, a person that's been created through life's experiences and through exercising your faith and hard work. They don't want, like, you know, for me, you know, Fred's, you know, his success, your success, Rashawn. There may be people in your family, man, that may not want to see you or don't see you in the light that you're actually in, because they're used to seeing the old you. And so they're not going to respect you as the person that you are today.
Right.
They want to take you back 30 years when you were growing up as a little kid in the, you know, in the neighborhood.
Right.
And that's not who you are anymore, right?
Speak on it.
So that extended family, man, sometimes can be your worst enemy.
Like, dog, let me tell you, just short story. When I told everybody I wanted to get married when I was 19, motherfuckers was all everybody. You crazy. like you sure? And I'm looking at them, and this is the saddest part. Like people who are in relationships at that time, they're looking at me like, are you sure? And it's like, are you not sure about the person you with right now? It makes you look at them funny. And sure enough, those relationships aren't together no more. You know, the people I'm talking about. Like the people who showed me that they weren't in agreement with my decision at that point, they don't have significant others. They have baby daddies and, you know, that type of drama. And that's their lifestyle. And it was like they have all negative things to say to it. And now I got friends, like right now, I'm 30 now. I got friends right now catching up. Like, oh yeah, I'm getting married after all the drama, you know, after experiencing all that. Now they at this understanding point. But man, during that time, I was crazy, and everybody wanted to see us fail. Like you said, it was like nobody. It was like low key hating because they wanted to be right, and that's the deepest part. They told me I was crazy, and they wanted to be right. So as we're still shining, they still got negative things. Like man, like I said, I do security, right? I was bouncing at the club the other day. You know, people got stuff to say about me just being at the damn club. You know, doing work. Like people are really negative, and they do not want to see you succeed. They want to be right.
Yeah. Yeah. Nah, you guys are hitting the nail on the head, man. And man, family and friends that don't want their other family and friends to succeed. Sheesh.
They want to be like, hey Fred, they want to be like, I told you, girl.
Man.
They gotta have that moment.
Man.
I'm not trying to get everybody.
Yeah, so I got a real quick one, man.
Yeah, go ahead.
About a week ago, you know, there's family members that I don't really mess with anymore.
Sure.
They just for various reasons. I won't get into the details. But sometimes they'll ask me to come by, or you know, and I'm like, you know, nah, I've got work to do, whatever,
Right,
you know.
right.
And about 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago now, I caught COVID at work. I caught COVID at work, and I'm still getting over it. You may hear it in my voice, but caught COVID at work, and a family member called me, asking me to do something. I said I can't do it because I'm down. I got COVID, and the person said, "Good, maybe you'll take some time off work." And I'm like, I just told you I had COVID. People die from COVID, and your response is good. Maybe I'll take some time off work. I was like, wow. How insensitive was that individual? They didn't realize I was actually having a hard time getting over it, you know. But even still, you know, just that complete detachment from concern or anything constructive, you know, it's just what you have to do with family members, man. You have to if they show you they are a certain way, you have to believe them. You know what I mean?
Treat them accordingly and treat them accordingly.
Yeah, exactly. Because what we try to do is we always want to assume the best.
Right.
Nah, maybe I read that wrong. Maybe they didn't mean it that way. Nah, man. If when they show you who they are,
believe
you gotta
them.
believe, because
Angela.
otherwise you get a very bad situation. So,
Facts.
all right, Fred. I know you look tired, man.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely exhausted. I had a very eventful weekend. We had a wedding yesterday.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, Dre's best friend, college friend, medical school friend got married, and I actually want to do a show on her or a video on her, how you date to get married. I know Hannibal. I learned that from Hannibal. I thought it, but he helped me put it into words. And when Kennedy starts getting 15, 16, 14, I'm gonna start really going in on that. But she dated to get married. She wasn't settling. No, I want to get married and have kids. And she got her husband, and now they meet. I mean, she's my age, so she got to do what she need to do. But she wasn't playing around. Like,
that's cool.
She finally got her husband. I'm like, man, like I almost cried because I was like, I really been on this journey with you. You know, because we do the double date thing, and they come over, have wine. Dre drinks wine sparingly, and whenever she's with Neha or her girlfriend, she may have a glass of wine, but or at dinner.
Is she a doctor too?
Yeah. All the Dre friends are doctors. Yeah, because they've been through the gamut together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they built the bond, like me and my accountability team. We built the bond through undergrad. You know, her bond was in med school. So yeah, man. And this is why I want to share this too. Sometimes I come here because I don't see it. I understand it. Like when I go pick up Lincoln and Kennedy from school, I see a whole bunch of willing Black people willing to help people, and they don't run through red. I mean, we have stop signs. They don't run through stop signs. They're very respectful. You see a stewardess. You may see a trainer. You may see a man in a suit. Quite possibly could be a lawyer. You see a man or a woman in scrubs. And then I go to a wedding yesterday. I'm sitting at a table with 6 doctors, me, an entrepreneur. Brianna husband works for the government. He does the taxes. And who else was there? And then there was someone else, right? And I'm sitting there like, see, in my circle, I'm more often than not around like people who are doing what they said they wanted to do or wanted to become. And then sometimes when I come in here, I'll be like, no, it ain't like that, because I see it. I really see the success every day when I pick Lincoln and Kennedy up. It's amazing when I pick them up, man. I see so many forehead kisses and grabbing hands and people just happy. And you got the one parent that may be playing that Drake music or but outside of that, I mean, it's really it's beautiful, man. And I'm just living proof that you can change your circle of influence.
Wow.
You really can, because my circle of influence at 16, it wasn't dope dealers and gangbangers but I mean, it was people who were like me at 15 and 16. Like, I guess I'll just go to the military. I guess I'll just go work at Radio Shack or and over the course of time, as Dre is texting me now, over the course of time, you can change your company. And I'm a living witness to that, man.
Yeah.
That she's reminded me to plug in the car. but yeah, man, it's I'm living proof that you can sit at a table with, if you're a doctor, you're basically a millionaire, right? And so if I can go from sitting at a table with my circle of friends in middle school and high school who were gangbangers, the kids I played basketball with, gangbangers, single parent home, and so to the table I sat at last
Yesterday.
night, and no one cared who had more money. It was it was a couple that was going to France, and the other couple was giving them advice on where to go in France, and one couple went to Martha's Vineyards and saw President Obama and Michelle Obama introduce descendants or something like that. She was telling me the story of how Barack Obama, it was a Questlove film, and they was in Martha Vineyards for a week, and so I'm a living example of it, man. I'm just a living example, and I know I come off as pompous sometimes because my life is different than what it once was, but I'm a living example of it, though. You know.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You did a great. I mean, you're doing a great job, man. I mean, as far as, and your hard work brought that to you.
Yeah.
Your faith and your hard work. So
yeah. My faith is unmovable, man. It really is. Like nothing nobody can say or do that can change my faith and what I believe in.
That's great.
It's impossible. It's really impossible.
That's great.
Yeah. I mean, death.
I'm still on the corporate plantation, man, but I got to get off of it.
Yeah, but it comes, and I was having this conversation with Deshaun, who makes great money. I told him the story about Dre and I. I said I put Dre through med school and did everything I possibly could, and she stayed at my apartment. I had a 3-bedroom, 2-bath apartment in Whittier. After I graduated, I kept the same apartment, and I was paying $1,300 a month. I was paying the car payments. I was giving the money for gas. I was doing everything I could, you know, whether it was through a credit card, whether it's I got work or whatever it did. All Dre had to do was come home and study and pass the test and do that. She never asked how whatever. I got it done. Right. And when she got a job, 2005, 2006, I don't know, whatever year it was. No, it was after I got laid off. So it was after 2007. I borrowed $10,000 from her one time. It was to finish my first film. What's the name of it? If you guys want to Google it. Oh shit. Oh my God. Inner City Champions. And I borrowed $10,000 from her because I needed to finish the film. And we haven't looked back since. And now I'm not going to say what I make dwarfs her because that's not where I'm at. But it's I make a different money because her money's always on the books. You understand? My money is different because it's through property, and we accrue equity. So it's so important that you can build a team and you can be unconventional, because our motto is, Dre, you hit the doubles, I hit the home runs. You know, and I was telling the man who works for the government, who does the taxes, I was telling him that I says with the salary that your wife makes, and I know because I know what Dre makes, you can take a chance. And he never, I can tell he never thought about it because he's the man in his relationship. I can totally tell. I was like, dude, y'all are one forever. You got 2 kids. You on your second home. You on your 3rd property. Take the chance now. And I can tell he never thought about that shit. He always thought he had to bring in the money and be the man and you know. And I'm inviting him over October 8th. We're gonna watch some football together because I really want him to see it. Like I really want, I mean, they understand because we all in a text thread, like, or Dre is always in a text thread with her. So everybody knows what everybody's doing, but we ain't seen each other in so long. And it's Dre and our lives are different now, you know, in terms of the the living piece. You know when you hustling through life, you know when you see someone, you see them hustling through life, through. Dre
now
and I
you start to reap the benefits.
Yeah, we ain't hustling through life no more. Like we ain't.
Right.
We got to get there. We got like Sam
Yeah, you
Watson
bet.
had a volleyball, not a baseball game. I don't want to go to that shit. I don't want to be around them celebrities and everybody. Nah, I'm comfortable. I want to stay home and watch the Giants preseason football game. Like I'm so, you know, and but yeah, and this last bit of this conversation is just living proof that it can really happen and get you a partner that you can see that to the point of honestly, one of us is gonna have to bury each other. Like you got to see your partner to the grave, you know, and that's Dre and I do. And in between this, it sounds beautiful and flowery, and yeah, it's work. It's work. Because Fred is a wild child, you know. Fred is a wild child. Fred takes risks, you know. Fred doesn't respect authority, you know. So you know, so there was some grooming that I had to go through, and doesn't respect the rules of authority. Like you can't tell me no. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna go out and go be belligerent with a police officer. That not that type of authority, but don't tell me what I can't do, you know. So and here we are. So
That's great, man. Well, I'm
and,
glad you got off.
Yeah, and we're these are 3 examples of living proof that it works.
Well, I'm still on
with
the
a woman. No, with a woman though. Because they say, "Oh man, nah, it works, man. It works. It works."
Yeah.
Trust me.
Yeah, I'm listening to you. It's stages. And that's what I'm hearing you say. And it's like you gotta be. What you really saying is like it was like I was saying to you about the rubber band thing. You gotta stay strong together in the midst of the storm, bro. In the eye of the storm, you gotta be strong together. Otherwise, your rubber band gonna snap. Y'all gonna be in 2 different places.
Right.
And it's gonna be all tacky. You gotta strap that band around each other and go through life together.
Right.
Don't let your band get weak. You know, keep it strong, man. Keep your foundation strong. And a lot of people just don't understand that because, once again, back to the main topic and why I came back on communication. People don't know how to communicate.
Right. True words.
Or accept communication, because that's what it goes on with a lot of people, couples too. You know, like you said, some people just don't like to be told no. Some people just they're stuck in their ways, is what you would call certain people. Not saying you stuck in your ways, Fred, but like you know what I'm saying. Like certain people are stuck in their ways when it comes to that stuff, and that's just what they're used to.
Sure. And
excellent words, Fred. Thank you.
I appreciate you. We see you tomorrow night.
All right, guys.
All right, Fred. You have a good night, man.
No, I appreciate y'all, man. I appreciate y'all. Yeah, I'm gonna end it on this note because I really need the people to understand where I came from. You guys already know where I'm at. I'm not shy about telling you where I'm presently at right now. But as you guys were telling the story about family, I remember I went to a family reunion. I believe it was in Buffalo, New York, or it was in Philadelphia. It was in one of those 2 cities. My grandfather was big on family, and we had the Peebles or the Wiggins family. I think it was the Wiggins family reunion. And I'm sitting next to my Uncle Tank, who's now deceased. I'm not saying it out of disrespect for him. I'm telling you guys about where I came from and how and what family thinks of you, that our family is when family is perceived as being successful. So I moved when I'm 85. I started going back to New York in middle school. So 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th grade. My grandfather died in 12th grade, my senior year. So those years I was going to New York every summer. And one of those summers, I forget how old I was, but you guys can do the math somewhere in there. We're at a family reunion. We're at a dinner table. And you know how you sit at the table? And you know how you have the butter and when you first sit at the table? And I'm like, yeah, damn. They gave us ice cream. My uncle says, he says, you would know that's butter if you went places. And I said, I never forgot that as long as I live. And so that's just what family thinks of you, and I always prided myself on giving the information to my family, always. And I'm very strict with my family. I don't call my family as often as the average person do. Because my peace, man. I don't leave my house like all summer. I rarely left my house. Like I am literally in like Zen. I'm happy. And hopefully that inspires you, because I didn't know butter from ice cream. So that tells you how low I was, as it pertains to my life experiences. So, but anyways, man, you guys have a great day, and don't let no one break your faith or what you believe in, because if you do, you're gonna be worshiping Satan somehow, some way. You know what I'm saying? And we don't want that. Anyways, I appreciate y'all, man. I'll see y'all tomorrow night, man. It's a great show, man. You changed the show on us, man. I appreciate you. Totally appreciate you changing the show. And oh man, perfect timing too. The internet going bad. Let me go plug in the car. I can do that. Boxeo and Knowledge was in the building, man. I appreciate y'all. I saw you in San Diego, man. I saw you talking to somebody in the background of a video last night, man. I saw you, man. Yeah, man. I hope you had a great time. Glad you made it back home safe. For sure. Glad you made it home safe. I didn't watch the card, but you know who I'm drawing a fan of? Timothy Bradley. Not a fan, but I like agreeing with him and I like disagreeing with him. I like the fact that he just says what he believes. So, yeah, it's beautiful. So yeah, man, good show, man. Good ending to the show. I might have to clip the ending to this show, man. It's important. It's important that, yeah, man. It's important. Totally important, man. Yeah. I know. You see my boy Ward. He's back in the building, man. He's back in the building. Yeah, tell him I said hello. Hey, you got to frame a question, man. Hey, man, why is that guy barbershop conversation so hard on you? Man, I don't worry about him. You know what he gonna say? Man, that's the internet, man. I don't fuck with the internet, man. He don't know nothing. I like Andre Ward's response though about the slick fighter, but he got to say black. He got to say, when he's making reference to Usyk, you got to say it, Andre Ward. You can't be using these pronouns and shit. You can't be hiding. You can't hide behind that bad haircut. By the way, it's time for us to start getting on Andre Ward's haircut. This shit's fucked up. He got one of the worst haircuts in boxing, dog. Come on, y'all. It might be fake. You think it's fake? You think his hair is fake, dog? His barber. I mean, like, man, I don't know, man. Y'all, I don't know. Him and Keith Thurman and Andre Ward got the worst barbers in boxing. It's a fact. Did you see Keith Thurman? I saw a 40-second clip on Instagram about I'm not a gatekeeper boy, and I'm like, damn, your hair thin. You need to go see Mr. Bosley. I'm telling you, man, that motherfucker had a wig or something, man, because how do you go from a ponytail to bald like that? Don't make sense. Ain't adding up. You know what I mean? Your hair follicles ain't adding up, man. You ain't got no follicles. No follicles. You ain't got no follicles. Yeah, man. Telling AJ too. I remember AJ had that bad cut. Hell yeah. Yeah, AJ did have a bad cut a few years ago. Did he have one yesterday? I don't know. I didn't pay attention to that. Love y'all, man. I'll see y'all tomorrow, man. Holla y'all.